Welcome back to Tales from the Backlog, featuring Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I am Steve Boshear, and I'm not wearing my mic. Woo! Neither's my wife. Hold on. Sorry for the headphone users who are getting deafened right now.
Nor pants.
Well, that's irrelevant until I have to stand up and get terrain. Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Backlog. I'm Steve Boshear, and I run this shit. Who's next to me up there in pretend space?
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
I don't know what it looks like everybody else's. I don't know if it's like a Zoom meeting where it's like Hollywood squares, everything. Hi, I'm Jeff Walker. I am playing Skaldric's Boomstrike. I'm a goblin alchemist. I like blowing things up, hence the surname.
Boomstrike.
And I'm Cody, playing Ungrun Darkbeard, Dwarf Ranger, Archaeologist.
And I'm Corey. I'm playing Montgomery Fizzy Buns, the gnome wizard who doesn't believe in magic. It's just science.
And I'm Sarah. I am playing B. Cartella, the Halfling Monk.
Welcome, everyone. So this is our second session of this game. It's intended to be the last. If we don't get through the adventure in time, I'll collapse the ceiling on you guys so we can go to bed.
Cool.
Yeah, so I enjoyed this one last week. It's basically D&D, but with different rules, which really is the same as any time you pick up a new edition of D&D. I probably should stop saying D&D so much on the Pathfinder stream, because the Pathfinder people might not be happy about it. But, yeah.
The path to you.
Well, last week, you guys found yourselves in an adventurer-friendly town called Breach Hill, where once a month they have a meeting to hear grievances, pitches, if you will, from their denizens about problems that town funds should be spent to hire adventurers for. So every month, once a month, everyone in town comes to either air their problems, make their cases, or to just hear what's going on with their neighbors. And then local adventurers or whoever's passing by shows up as well in the hopes of landing a job. You guys were the only adventuring crew that showed up this week, or this month. And a number of things happened. First, you learned of the Bumblebrasher Goblin tribe, who lives in the abandoned Hellknight fortress of Citadel something. That citadel up on the hill a mile away from the town. Now, the Bumblebrasher tribe is friendly with the town and has an ambassador that lives in the town, but they had not been heard of in over a month. The ambassador, Warball Bumblebrasher, has a bi-weekly meeting with the chieftain of the tribe, and the tribe has missed 2 meetings. So she was there to ask that adventurers be hired, also because the Bumblebrasher distress signal was coming up in the form of red smoke from the top of the citadel. So she was there to pitch that the town hire adventurers to save their goblin neighbors. But during the meeting, a fire mephit was summoned into the building and tried to burn the entire place down. The tooth and nail battle against the mephit lasted approximately 0.086 seconds as Ungrun Darkbeard fired a crossbow into his brain and ended him in the first turn of combat. Actually, I mean, some of you guys were helping people out, but it was the first turn in which someone attempted combat, and that was the end of it. So you guys managed, along with the town council members, to save every single villager from the burning building.
Woo!
And kill the Mephit. Some very adept guardsmen provided everyone with the information that it was the local bookseller's apprentice, the halfling Calmont, who had summoned the Mephit and sent it in to burn down the building. He'd been seen. He was not very good at hiding. So Calmont had been seen fleeing up towards Hellknight Hill. You guys were rewarded for your efforts with some potions and some money, and then hired for additional efforts. You were asked to track down Calmont and to check on the welfare of the Bumblebrashers. And in a more broad sense, to investigate just what the hell is going on at Hellknight Hill. Now, there was an error on my part, which I didn't realize until today. It's not one that matters. It's the kind of thing that, a lot of DMs would just never tell you about. But it's funny to me. The town council president was supposed to impress upon you the importance of bringing Calmont back alive so that he could be questioned. I double-checked the video, and at no point did she tell you this. So, quite expressly last session, you, Scaldrix, slung a stone through his eyeball into his brain. Oops. But you're going to get paid anyway, since she didn't actually tell you that when she hired you.
We should
It's
show
a good
back.
thing.
Oh, you go ahead.
It's a good thing Montgomery is a fantastic healer.
Indeed.
It is a good thing, yeah.
I could bring him back right now.
Well, that is up to you guys. Again, in the world of this story, you were not, in fact, told to bring him back alive. So you were just told to track him down. Anything that happens after that was on your own time.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm curious. I want to know why he did it.
Well, the Bumblebrasher Goblin tribe, which you have saved, is also up here, and they are expressing their gratitude very vigorously. They are shaking your hands, and one or two of them are bowing and scraping, but their friends look embarrassed by it. And Helba, the chieftain of the Goblin tribe, will come up to whichever one of you looks like the leader, which I guess is Scaldrix, because you're the closest to her. She was the one that was taken captive.
And the goblin. Goblinist.
Yeah, I'm also the most goblinist as well.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I
Oh, no,
would like
wait.
to
What?
let the record say I wouldn't have thrown hand grenades at his head if I had known
Yeah.
that they wanted
Yeah,
him back.
or attacked him with a severed zombie head.
Yeah, it legitimately,
Let the
it doesn't
record-
matter. It was
Let
just
the
a...
record say-
It's not going to affect your progress or your ability to get information. There's 20 other ways to get the information he would give you. But yeah, it was funny to me that I just completely didn't even occur to me that they would want him back alive. I'm like, oh, he did a crime. We'd better kill him. So yeah, actually, I said Scaldrix, but I meant Ungren, because Ungren was the one who climbed the wall and was right by Helba and Calmont. So she will...
He's the tallest.
Yeah, and he's the tallest.
Yeah.
She's turning to you, Ungren, and saying, "Oh, thank you so much. You've saved me." And
Please direct all gratitude towards Scaldrix. I do not wish to talk to you.
oh, okay. Did
He's like
She's
this
checking
with
her teeth.
everybody. I'm going to jump in
well,
as I'm pulling myself back up.
but you
Yeah,
climbed the wall to save me.
Yes.
But
You're
you,
welcome.
you fellow goblin, you hit him in the eye from way over there.
It was really nothing.
Do you have a tribe?
Can you repeat yourself?
Do you have a tribe? We could use someone like you in the Bumblebrashers.
No tribe, no.
I throw my arm around your shoulders.
I'm
He
far
has
away.
us.
We're his tribe.
Oh, you guys are adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Indeed.
that explains why the big dragon downstairs is dead.
Yeah, which one of us did that?
Actually, I think it was the dead halfling.
The dead halfling killed him?
He was pretty swole.
Well,
I do believe it.
he was casting weird spells and the wall collapsed.
Oh, yeah. Hey, so why were you guys sending up the emergency signals? Because this guy didn't get here. He couldn't have gotten here any earlier than today, but you've been sending up signals and missing meetings. The Wizig,
Warball?
Warball, is very worried about you guys.
Oh, Warball! She's my best friend! And like 4 other goblins go, hey. She must have been worried sick. We had to flee to the roof because we were driven out of the catacombs by weird cultists. And then we had to come upstairs because the ground floor had a dragon on it. And then we were trapped.
Cultist, you say?
Yeah.
He's still downstairs.
Well, there was some kind of explosion or earthquake, and everything collapsed. The different levels were cut off from each other. We couldn't get back into the dungeons from directly above, and we had to climb up.
So that's going to be a yes. The cultists are still down there. Most likely.
Well,
Maybe.
I haven't checked. There was a dragon in the way, and also
Fair.
some rubble. But if you guys want to go downstairs, we know a back way in.
Ooh, cool. Can you remind, out of character really quickly, what were our 2 missions? It was to find out where the Bumblebraxes were okay?
To find out if the Bumblebrashers were okay and to track down Kelma. You accomplished both of those missions.
Okay.
More generally, the way it was actually phrased was investigate Hellknight Hill.
Okay.
To see why, like, there was more than one weird thing going on that was centered on the Citadel right now. So that's why they phrased it that way.
Was the halfling part of the cult?
No, I don't think so. He's from town. He sells books, I think. I don't know where he got so stabby.
Has he been up here before?
Well, I've been to the town once or twice.
But never up here before.
No. Not that I've seen.
First time that you've seen him up here is when he tried to stab you.
Yes, but he seemed a little disoriented. I think he was expecting to be able to go down.
Maybe he's a new initiate into the cult.
No, the cult didn't come from outside. The cult came from inside.
Inside.
Oh.
Why do you call them a cult? Are they...
Well, they had weird robes, and they were
Check.
doing chants.
Check.
I mean,
What's
most of us
under
do
the
that, too.
robes?
Yeah.
That's a little judgmental.
Well, they also sacrificed 7 of my friends on an
Oh.
altar.
Okay, that's more of
Okay.
a cult, yes.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
I
very
see.
I've
culty.
seen you do that,
Yeah,
Montgomery.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
He could have been talking about the polyphonic spree for all we
Still might. I don't know what the polyphonic
That sounds
spree
like a
does in
great
rehearsals.
cult.
As per usual, I'm the only one that doesn't get the reference. Will your tribe need to be escorted back to town temporarily? We can figure out the cult issue.
Well, we live up here, but yeah, we should definitely send word to Warble. Tell her to come up here.
Well, clearly your home has been infested with an infestation of cultists. You should maybe leave temporarily.
Okay,
Congratulations, you're refugees.
but the cultists are underground and they can't get out. And there was a dragon above ground, but then he's dead. So I think we're okay for now.
But they came from underground and did some weird stuff, and then went back underground?
No, they never came above ground.
They
It's
never-
just more.
Ah.
Oh,
You
we
don't-
lost Jeff.
We did he's back.
I'm back. I'm back.
You guys have never been in the Citadel?
No.
No?
Oh, we just walked in.
Okay, you walk in, you're on a floor. Then there's stairs down, and you're on a different floor.
Uh-huh.
Then there's stairs down, and you're on a different floor.
That is how buildings work.
On that floor, there's a round room,
Uh-huh.
and that room has extra doorways that go nowhere.
Uh-huh.
I'm
The
a little
cultists-
concerned with your. Oh,
The cultists came out of one of those doorways. For just a little while, it went somewhere. And then they came through and it closed and they got trapped here and they tried to kill us all.
yes, and that's why
So they
I'm
came out of a
concerned.
portal.
Yes, that's the word.
Yes.
It's like a door that's not always there.
Ah.
I'm concerned for your lack of caution for your safety. Just because they can't get back to where they came from doesn't mean they can't all walk up those stairs.
Yes, they can't walk up the stairs because of the earthquake that collapsed the roof onto the stairs. I mentioned that earlier. Try to keep up, dwarf man.
Oh, you talk at such a high-pitched voice, I just have to tune out half of it.
Also, goblin culture is not terribly concerned with group safety. You should know that since you're friends with one of us.
That is true. That actually makes a lot of sense.
That is a founding principle of most goblin cultures.
I never realized that was a cultural thing with you, Scaldrix. I feel like I'm learning much more about you right now.
Yeah, wanton disregard for...
Yeah, I always
Those
thought
are
that
ours.
was just like a personal thing.
But if you guys want to go down and kill the cultists for us, that would be great! And we can show you the back way in there so you can go around and not have to go over the collapsed stairs.
While we're doing this, I do want to double check that dragon and make sure it's actually dead.
I mean, it was breathing when you first got here, but it stopped.
Okay. All right.
Give it a good old double tap.
It's extra dead.
All right.
So, I think before we head out anywhere, I think this would be a good time while we're having these conversations to get in a rest.
Alrighty.
Okay. And
Feel the
sorry.
charge.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I was going to say, I would like to propose, gentlemen, I huddle up, I'm like, look, I think we can do it, but I think in exchange, I want to get first crack at harvesting that dragon. There's a lot of very valuable bits on a dragon, and if we just say, like, just what we can carry, they can keep all the rest.
Just as a reminder, it's not exactly a dragon. It's a Growlodon, which is kind of like a gigantic crocodile, and it is distantly related to true dragons, but it is significantly less magical and more just bitey.
Nah.
Right.
Have
Jurassic
you
Park.
ever even cooked dragon before? How can I be sure you're not gonna kill us?
I wasn't planning to cook it. I was planning to go for claws and teeth. That would be.
Wait a minute, you've never tasted dragon?
No,
You're
have
missing
you?
out on a delicacy!
Oh.
Ungrin.
No, I've just never tasted
And bee.
dragon cooked by bee. And I've seen the mushrooms that she cooks with.
Oh, she can
You
cook
love
it.
my mushroom stew. It's delicious.
I refuse to touch
Yes,
that.
it gives me the best of dreams. I travel many planes.
Yes, you do.
Well, I would love to find the deeper culture of the Knights of Hell. That's what they're called, right? My notes got deleted.
They're called Hellknights, but
Hellknights.
Yeah.
you're close enough.
I fully believe Ungrin would choose the more florid way of saying it.
Yeah. Just to remind everyone that they literally named themselves after hell.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a.
And knights.
They're lawful good.
They're lawful, period.
Okay.
Their
lawful
their membership runs the gamut from good to evil.
Fair.
But I would venture to call them like the stupider version of paladins. Because they're like super armory and lawful and dedicated to things, but then their choices are just not great.
Paladerps.
Paladerps, that's what they are. Because like if you're going to just super dedicate yourself to something, you're not going to just be like, you know who we should model our organization after? Satan. No, we don't worship Satan. We just...
The big difference between demons and devils, though, is that devils have a lawful order about everything, as where demons are chaotic evil.
Fairly
Yes.
significant plot point in my 5e campaign, which is starting up again next month.
Yes, they don't worship Satan. They just read his management book.
Yeah.
And the 7 habits of highly effective companies.
Highly effective devils.
Yeah.
Highly effective organizations. Okay, well, let's do it.
Are you guys going to take a rest? Or
Let's take a rest and then do it.
Sure.
I only need
Do
a
it.
short rest. Do you guys need a long rest?
Short rest for me. I don't need any. I didn't take any damage.
Is that even a mechanic in this game?
Let's look up rests, everyone.
Woo!
Yes.
I had caps on, so I looked up rest.
All right.
I don't think there is a short rest, is there?
Nope. Alright, well, we'll just camp with these donuts.
Sleep with the goblins, platonically.
Yeah, I'm not getting within 5 feet of one.
Okay.
What about Scaldrix?
He's the only one, and I always make sure to sleep on the opposite side.
It's purely for warmth.
I also question that at any time I go to bed, he may just explode next to me, and that's why I don't want to sleep next to him.
Okay, so the index actually gives the short version of a rest. Characters recover HP in normally Constitution modifier times level and resources with 8 hours of sleep. Page 480.
I mean, when we leveled up, it reset my health, so yeah.
Yeah,
Ah.
that makes sense. But your other spent resources would reset as well.
I'm playing a martial class. Let's go.
All right.
All right. So 8 hours later, you guys all groggily wake up on the top of a fucking castle in the sky, and y'all smell like goblin.
Woo.
There's also halfling blood all over the place. Nobody bothered with that.
I will
Here,
done a little bit of straightening up. I have to
sheet's
read the
in it.
rules for how to straighten
your
up.
sheet is in it. Your old
Oh,
sheet,
thank you.
in case you want that.
Thanks.
Yeah. So after you guys wake up, Helba will personally lead you downstairs, which she hasn't been to in weeks because she's been trapped up on the roof. But now that the dragon's dead, she goes downstairs. She leads you out of the citadel, around the back of it to a little hillock behind it. The citadel sits on a high hilltop called Hellknight Hill. And behind it, though, there is a little rise in the ground, even up here. And you discover a little tunnel. She shows it to you and walks you just a little ways in, and she points and says, "Back way in! That goes to the underground floor."
And you said 3 floors down, and then the round room, or 2 floors down, and then the round room?
There's
2 floors.
2 floors. 1 floor is the one you came in on.
Okay.
Can I ask you a request?
What?
You said her name was Hildy?
Helba.
Helba.
Yeah.
Will you skin the lizard creature and get the nails first?
You mean the claws?
Yeah.
Well, that might take a long time. It's buried under a wall.
Could you start working on that? That way when we come back, we'll finish whatever's left over.
Yeah, just help us out. We'll help you out with your cultists. We'd appreciate it.
Okay, can we keep the teeth?
I want the teeth, Ungren. I want the teeth.
I just like shove you. I like shove you to like respawn.
How about if we split the teeth 50-50 and the claws 50-50?
Okay.
50 teeth and 50
All right.
teeth.
You can't have the teeth and the claws, but you can have half the teeth and half the claws, and Bumblebrashers get other half.
Sounds fair.
Okay.
It's a deal.
We shall all make friendship necklaces out
Why
of them.
are we doing it this way, as though we're not?
I don't know.
3 handshake. Yes, everyone
All right.
handshake at once.
Please don't touch me, Montgomery.
It is good. New friends.
We're so used to remote gaming that we
Yes.
do it even when she's really here. All right. So let me turn on my little tabletop camera for you guys. Pressing random buttons because I can't see the screen.
Where are our little characters?
Before we head down into the depths, I'm going to give each one of you an Elixir of Life, a minor one, which
That's right, we have
you
stuff.
can use it within the next 24 hours. I can restore 1d6 hit points, 1d6 plus 1 hit points.
Okay.
Yes, and we still have the 2 minor healing potions, 1 lesser antidote and 1 lesser anti-plague from the town, our grateful townspeople.
I forgot to get out your minis. Here is Scaldrix.
Thank you. I assume we are here at the
Yes,
opening to the maze.
you are walking in that tunnel. This, I think, is Montgomery.
Yeah, looks very wizardy.
Tis I.
Oh, sorry. Face planting.
Here's Ungren Darkbeard. The miniature actually has a dark beard, unlike the art on screen. And then, what are you, some kind of halfling?
I am a halfling.
But I don't have a halfling without weapons.
Yes, that
So
was what
that
we
is
found
why-
last time.
I
So
know the
just give
mini
me a
that I'm
sword.
looking for, and I think it's this one. That's probably the one I used for Calmont last time, but now it's you.
Yeah, it's fine. Not a lot of monk halfling minis in the collection. All right.
No, 0 in fact. But I've got a 3D printer, and as soon as they get around to sending me a new screen for it, I will be printing a halfling monk. Cool. All right. So yeah, if you can line up that tunnel, the earthquake wasn't quite so bad as to knock it askew from the other part of the tunnel. That's the way you guys come in. So let me read you the special text that adventure books say about every room you go into. This, by the way, I'm making fun of it, but this actually is a really cool adventure book. I've not run too many published adventures. I usually just do my own. But this one's, of the ones I've run, very well written. I really feel like I know what to do in every situation, unlike some others where it's like, if the players don't do exactly what the book says, we got nothing for you. This book is not like that. So there's my review of Hellknight Hill. It is runnable.
Ungren, do you want to take point, or do you want me to take point? I'm pretty sneaky.
Oh, I will happily take point.
Yeah, you seem to be our heavy
but I
hitter.
will have my crossbow loaded and ready to shoot anybody in front of me. Imagine I'm
Yes.
holding a shotgun.
Yes, crossbows out.
Kenny's in there just hacking away at me. All right. B1 is the name of this vaultway.
B.
B1. What's the lighting like in B1?
Well, it's only what you brought with you. You are completely underground. There are no windows, nothing lit on fire or anything. So, you tell me what the lighting's like.
I think I have dark. Yeah, I have dark vision. So.
Where does it say
I
I have
have-
dark vision?
I think the only one who wouldn't would be the gnome should have dark vision, right?
The dwarf
dwarf-
definitely.
I have dark vision, yeah. Monty's got it.
So the halfling should be the only blind one.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, B, you might need a light.
All
Grabbing
right.
it. Hang on, I'm grabbing my small spurls.
All right. Well, while
Do
you
I know-
guys are looking for a light source, I will describe the room. It is a... it doesn't look terribly wide on the table, but it's wide. It's an empty stone hallway, completely dark, and the air here feels oppressive, almost like it wants to push you down or stop you from breathing. There are doorways ahead of you on the left and right, and then past the doorway on the left, there's a second doorway with a mass of rubble spilling out of a clogged archway. There's the rubble.
I see.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's kind of spoilery, but yeah, that's what you see.
Okay, so it's a hallway, not a door on either side of the left and the right.
Yeah. They are doors, but they're wide open.
Okay, got it. Interesting. Okay. And we can go two abreast. Is it wide enough for that, or is it just one abreast?
It is, yes.
I'm just assuming we walk forward.
Yeah, we definitely do that.
I would like to detect some science all around us.
Can you read me the mechanic for that?
Yes. You send out a pulse that registers the presence of science. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Choose to ignore the magic you're fully aware of, such as magic items, ongoing spells, view your allies. You detect illusion magic only if that magic's effect has a lower level than the level of your detect magic spell. And there's other stuff for illusions.
What level
Don't
is
know.
your spell?
That's a cantrip. That's
Ah.
just a level.
In that case, you detect jack shit.
Okay. No science this way. Seems safe.
I don't know that scientists really describe things as science all the time. You're just like,
well-
there's no science over here.
He is a self-described scientist. He's not actually a scientist.
That's true.
So there's the rub.
I feel
But
like Ungrum's more of a scientist.
Yeah, and Scaldrix.
And
Probably
Scaldrix,
all
for
three
sure.
of you probably are more than one.
B's a karate scientist.
Yes, I am.
And
I-
a
No,
food
that's a cook.
scientist.
She's a cooking
A
scientist.
culinary scientist.
Yes, I am.
She studies the sweet science.
Yes, both of them, baking and
See?
boxing.
See? I think
Yes.
ahead. All right. So, where are you guys going? Is what I want to know.
And for the record, I had to double check, but I do have a torch in my adventurer's pack, so I am holding a torch.
Now, the camera is in front of your characters, so left and right are reversed from your character's perspective. But where are you guys going to go?
What is this off to the left? That red thing over there, the end of the hallway.
Explosive barrel.
It is it is actually just a couch.
Oh, okay. It's an explosive barrel with two orcs next to it.
Surprise! Roll initiative.
This is not Doom.
Um,
Not random barrels of exploding stuff everywhere. Yet! Sounds like a challenge, eh, Scaldrix?
can we see what's in front of us? Like down this
How
hallway?
far
Should
does your
I-
light reach?
I don't know. It's just a torch.
I don't have the spell light, but I can produce flame and cast electric arc. Both have a range of 60 feet.
Well,
The
there,
flame is designed to function like a torch.
there is a doorway in that at the end of the hallway there, with a door in it. The door is open, but only a crack, so you actually can't see past it.
Is there any light coming out of it?
No.
Okay. It's like, well, I guess we're looking for the stairs down to the next level. I mean, I say forward unless anybody else has got a different opinion.
Ungrin, you can track, yes?
Track what? People?
Occultists, perhaps?
What?
Maybe?
Alright, well, I'm gonna get
What
real.
do you see with your dwarven eyes?
Okay, this is how this works, alright? Close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna teach you an ancient dwarven secret. And
Yes.
I like spin Montgomery around a bunch of times, and I stop him randomly in front of one of the pathways. I'm rolling a D3, and I rolled a 1. And so we're gonna go to the couch, and I'm just gonna spin around like, okay, these are where the tracks are. And
Yes. Of course, always go to the left. I understand.
You're dizzy, probably.
Yes.
There you
Falls over.
This mini is just, I don't know if you can see it, but it's tilted forward, so it constantly wants to fall over.
Do you want to swap it out? Is that
No, it's
Scaldrix?
fine.
In front of him.
No, it's Monty.
Oh.
He's fine as long as I just don't bump him.
Oh, and do we want to sneak? Do we want to travel slowly to sneak?
You tell
Option
us.
is
You're
there,
the tracking expert.
I would like to do that.
All right.
It's gonna
He's
be
doing it,
hard
I'm doing it.
Well,
toting around
He's
a
doing it. I'm
torch.
doing it.
So now that you're over here, you can see that there are additional doorways along the sort of long wall that you're facing, the wall with the couch on it, but they have all collapsed. So you can go left towards that room at the end or right towards that room at the other end.
I vote beds to see if they've been used.
Sure.
Okay, you can't, in character you can't actually see that the beds are there yet. I just don't want to stand up in the middle of a stream.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna cheat and know that there are beds there, and then
Yep.
that's what I'm
Tracking.
So as you go to this room, it's clearly a former bedroom. There's furniture knocked all around in it. There is a mountain-like pile in the center, largely made up of garbage like filthy cloths and chunks of rubble and bent nails. And in the middle of the room, asleep, but waking up when you open the door,
No.
Rat's nest.
is a large, hairy creature surrounded by small, dead humanoid bodies.
Oh yeah, I pull the trigger.
It's a bear.
It's a bear!
oh, like a regular old bear?
It is
Oh.
indeed a bear.
If it's brown, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lie down. If it's white, you're dead.
I think there actually is a version of that rhymes, but I have heard that.
Oh, it's say goodnight. If
If it's white,
Yeah.
say goodnight. Yeah, that's what it is.
All right.
All right.
Roll initiative.
So we're
Yeah.
naming this bear, and then we're all gonna ride it at once.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
Oh,
So-
our mounts. We forgot about our mounts.
Here's a fun fact that
Oh, I just assumed we had him with us.
Here's a fun fact that you guys did not learn because nobody asked questions that would have brought this up. But this bear is here for a reason. You would not be the first people to attempt to tame the bear. It was intended to be the Bumble Brasher's mascot,
Ah.
but it didn't go well.
Well,
They just left it down here.
Yeah,
Ate the Bumble Brashers instead.
correct.
Hence the dead bodies on the ground.
Yes,
So,
but those are not all goblin bodies. There are other weird creatures.
Other weird. Okay.
Other weird humanoid creatures that are not goblins.
so I have the big impression as a well-traveled survivalist that if you wake up a bear in its home and have fire, it's going to be very aggressive, and the best thing to do is either run, which you won't outrun a bear, especially as a dwarf, or just put it down. So that's what I'll be attempting to do.
Okay. Are we
So
rolling?
he is angry, but he is not attacking yet. He is clearly confused, and he's got a bone in his mouth that he's gnawing on.
If it's just a door, why don't we shut the door?
Yeah.
Well, the door is wrecked. It won't stay shut.
Oh,
That does change the strategy a bit.
Yeah.
Can we cover it with a couch?
Pivot.
I think a couch is going to stop it there.
It is pretty big. It would have a hard time getting through the door, but it might not be impossible. It's hard to say. At this time, the bear is not attacking you. It's kind of taking a warning posture, but it seems fairly indifferent.
Back up.
This is a precarious.
Back away.
Yeah, it's a
Yep.
precarious situation. You've caught its eye. Why doesn't someone do a command an animal check or a nature check?
Oh. Where does animal handling come in? Under nature? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nature.
I'll do a check.
Are you sure you wouldn't want to let the ranger do that?
With a... Okay, Ranger, you do a check.
I mean, you can do it if you're just the one in the doorway, but
I mean, Sarah, I want Sarah to do it. She's the one that wants to do it.
all right.
All right, I'm
just-
doing it.
I was just surprised. I'm not telling you guys how to play. I was just like, what?
Okay, that's going to be a nat 1 plus my 2 for animal handling. Or excuse me, it's my 2 for nature.
Would you like to describe exactly how you completely screw up backing away from the bear?
Does it involve salmon?
I will, you know what? Yes. I back away and yell, "Nothing to say here!" And I trip over my own feet, and some of our rations come spilling out of my overloaded backpack. Like the juiciest and most delicious smelling of rations.
Not the mushrooms.
Yes.
Okay,
Salmon,
well,
honey.
your role play saved your dice rolls because the bear comes over and starts eating the food you spilled.
Oh, all right. Hey, look
Am
at
I
that.
strong enough to grab her and just drag her away?
I believe you are.
All right.
I just start pulling them, and I start, like, very briskly pulling them and dragging them.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the giant of this group.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Team Tiny.
Woohoo!
Tiny.
Team Tiny.
I mean, you guys, you're regular sized.
Team regular
So-
size.
Yes.
All
Team
those,
not giants.
all
Yes.
those humans
I
are
say
just
Team,
huge.
we're the normal ones. You're all the oversized freaks.
Yeah.
I say we start moving down the hallway. Somebody looking
yep.
back towards the door.
Yeah.
And we press onward, making sure the bear doesn't follow us.
All right. Well, whatever rations you had are basically gone because that does
Yep.
not take a grizzly bear long to eat what spilled out of your backpack.
I am going to push that sofa into the middle of the hallway just to
that
slow him
sofa.
down.
All right. Well, he is unable to get through the door, so
Oh.
he's going to stay in there.
All right then. I still overturn the sofa, just
Yeah.
just because.
You like he almost fits. You get the impression that if you were to piss him off, he'd force his way through, but you did not piss him off. So
Nope. We wandered in, we gave him food, and we wandered out again.
yeah.
This was an ideal encounter from the bear's perspective.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So now you're going to where you came from, or you're going down the other end of the hallway.
No, back down the other end of the hallway, I think, right?
Okay.
Okay. And as we walk, I say, "It's okay, guys. I bet there's some really good eating on that Grolodon." All
All
right.
right, Ungren, you're still on point. I'll take a second behind him. Yeah.
Okay. So what you find here is another bedroom, a ruined one. And the dripping from the stone ceiling, actually, you can take that rubble out. That was meant to be in with the bear.
Nope.
But in this room, a dripping from the stone ceiling has created like a deep bog-like puddle in the middle of the broken floor. And then there are some broken pieces of wood all around, the flagstones. And as soon as you enter this area, you hear a sound like the subtle croaking of frogs.
There's good eating on frogs, too.
Like little frogs or like a big bull rabbit?
I look up. Is there anything on the ceiling?
Roll a perception check.
Ah! By the way, I just remembered I get a bonus on illusions. Illusions, Michael. I mean, Steve.
Uh-huh. Well,
Perception.
it depends on your definition of illusion.
Also, I get a +2 circumstance bonus to perception whenever I'm trying to locate an undetected creature that is within the range of my scent, because I am a sensate gnome. And I see colors brighter and hear sounds richer.
Okay.
Especially sense. So that's a natural 15 plus something for, let's say, a 21, I guess? If I get the +2?
Let me check something. Yeah, you do get the +2.
Hooray.
Yeah, you know what? You smell things. They live in that puddle.
Oh.
And they smell quite a lot like those weird dead bodies that the bear had.
Yeah.
Friends, this is Danger Puddle. Do I can I do like a can I detect signs on the puddle from back here from a safe distance? Yes, can do it 60 feet, I guess.
You detect the science of awful smelling mud.
Let's see.
Now that you mention it, and the smell reminds me of what we just saw, can I do
Yes.
a check to think back and see if I can figure out what those humanoid bodies were that the bear had?
You may.
Okay, would this be nature or perception?
Not perception. I guess nature.
All right. Rolling awful tonight. That is it's a total of 9 on nature.
You're not sure. It rings a bell, but you don't know.
Okay. All right.
How big were the bodies? Were they goblinoid sized or were they?
They were small creatures, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got some little like frog creature things. Bullywugs. Ooh, maybe a bullywugs.
Well, they were more like dwarf sized.
Maybe bullywugs.
Has anyone seen a puddle of this nature?
I approach.
There.
You approach the puddle?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move Ungren into the room. Imagine a puddle in the middle and put him next to it. In fact, here we go. Here's a puddle. It's a folded dice
big
bag.
Puddle. I was gonna say, do you want a paper puddle or
Whatever.
This is pretty big.
A puddle.
This is like the whole room.
Here, you know what? Actually, I have a perfect puddle. A perfect, gross, boggy
perfect
puddle
puddle.
right here.
The perfect pestilent puddle.
You are the perfect puddle.
Whichever one of these fits better.
Ooh, yeah, those are gross. There you go. Perfect.
All right.
You do.
All right. So, roll initiative. Put these guys in. They come up out of the puddle. And Ungren, I'm going to go ahead and ask you for a nature check to see if you recognize them. Since you
Where
are...
did perception go on my skill sheet? Oh, +9. Okay, and I will do that right now. Oh no! I also rolled. Can I do survival? Oh no, they're both the same thing. 9.
9. Okay. Well, you know, since you are the nature-y guy, I'm going to just say that that's enough for you. And you recognize them as boggards. So called because they live in bogs, like this puddle.
Yeah, I just turn and shout, "Boggers! Poggers!"
No, boggards.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say, bud.
Poggers.
We're on Twitch. I'm allowed
They're
to shout
not
poggers.
poggers. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, I see.
Yes,
Brain
there
didn't
we
put
go.
2 and 2 together.
Me either. Okay, I still haven't. I don't think I get the reference.
I shit post
Everybody spam
enough.
poggers in
That's
chat.
not very poggers of
Can
you.
I get the
You
poggers
didn't get
in
the
chat?
reference. Yeah.
Okay.
We got one poggers.
Okay, I'm going to ask for all your initiatives. Corey.
8.
Sarah.
Also 8. It would have. No, wait, that can't be right. Sorry, trying to remember where the 10.
Jeff.
Initiative is plus your perception, correct?
That's correct.
All right. I
Oh,
got a
plus your
6
whole
total.
perception, not your dexterity.
I'm sorry, what was that, Jeff?
6 total.
6. Yes, Sarah. Initiative in this game is perception.
In that case, I'm at 15.
Okay. Your perception's higher than your dexterity?
Yeah.
What a monk you are.
Oh wait, it's just straight perception? I thought it was...
So
What the crap
on the
is that?
website,
Oh,
under
mine's a
your
12.
class DC, there's a
Yeah, well, there might be... The basic way to do initiative is perception. Your sheet might have a specific thing that says otherwise, but... Ungren, what's yours?
15. No, yeah, 15.
Kenny's in the chat saying that boggart is Pathfinder for bullywugs. It's in the form of a question. Yeah, basically. Or like grung, maybe. I don't know. But they're
Is that the new PogChamp? Oh hell yeah!
they're little froggy guys and they're mad.
PogChamp.
Uh,
Steve, mine is 12. I forgot to factor my +4 from perception.
I heard you, thank you. But now it looks like B and Ungren both have 15.
I have a +9.
Bless you.
I have a +7.
Okay, well then we will let Ungren go first. 15 A and B. All right, what are you doing, Ungren? They come lurching out of the puddle at you, but you're too dang quick.
Yeah, I want a hunter's. Well, it's not called hunter's mark. What is this thing called again? Hunters.
It's called Mark of
Hunter's
Hunter.
Edge.
What's that?
Hunt prey is one action.
Okay.
Okay.
Can
And
you
then I'm
tilt
going
the
to,
camera down a little?
Roll backwards to get some distance. So I'm gonna roll 25 feet backwards.
You're gonna roll 25 feet.
No, I'm just gonna walk. but
Okay.
We're gonna pretend I roll.
Yeah, you can roll 25 feet. I just wanted to make sure that
Or-
that's what you said you were doing.
Yeah, 20 feet by the way, backwards.
Okay. Can you move him back 20 feet?
Sure.
And then I will quick draw.
Just gonna
for
eyeball
another
that.
action.
Okay.
You didn't
And
need
no. Well, I still wanted to be in front. I guess I just wanted to.
Get away from the
Tree.
bog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going like full chicken shit there.
I'm still the thick boy, and I do not want to get swarmed, right?
That a pot of valor.
Yeah, and I quick draw my heavy crossbow, which is 18 to hit.
Let me read this stat block for the first
Oh,
time. Yeah, that
that's
hits.
wrong.
Oh.
Is it more? It's probably more.
If
but
it's
okay, we don't have to
if
go.
it's more, then it extra hits.
Okay, and now, for those at home, I have a feat called Crossbow Ace, which allows me to bump any crossbow I use to the next damage dice up. So I roll a d12, and it is a 6. 6 damage plus 2 circumstantial from my Hunter's Edge precision.
So 8 total?
Yep.
All right. Your crossbow bolt strikes this boggart in his arm, and he is harmed by it. And angry. Makes an angry croaking boggart sound, and is ugly. B.
I will.
Monk it up.
Well, do I want to monk it up?
I don't know.
All right, I will.
What do you want?
So can I, if I run into the room, can I get in striking distance of this guy without touching the puddle? Or would I have to go into the puddle to get to him?
They came out of the puddle to lunge at Ungren, so they are within striking distance of the edge, yes.
Okay. Well, tell me if I run it, can I run in, strike, and then run back out again?
There is
my
an
free
attack
action?
of opportunity that will take place.
Okay. Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, then I'm just going to settle for going with a ranged weapon. And I am going to fire my sling. So first shot is going to be... Oh, that's not bad. 20? Against...
Hit.
Alrighty.
At the same one or a different one?
Same one.
Of course.
That will be 7 damage. No,
Okay.
excuse me, 6 damage.
Okay.
Then I'm going to fire again with the sling, and it's a -5 penalty, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that didn't hit at all. That is merely 15 minus 5 is 10.
Okay.
All right. And
Ooh.
then
You got one more thing to do?
I got one more thing to do.
Wait, didn't... Oh, you didn't move. That's right. You
No, I did not
you
move.
decided not to move. Okay.
I don't really have anything else that I really need to do except to say as I step backwards, like, maybe we should just leave him to the puddle?
Yes.
And that's
While
my
you
turn.
are arguing for peace and understanding and live and let live,
Yeah.
the bullywug that you slung your sling at runs out of the puddle one step, so he's 5 feet out. If I'm looking at that correctly, you're in the back, right?
I am in the back.
Okay, well then he's going to shoot his tongue out at Ungren.
Okay.
That tongue has a 10-foot reach, so he needs to be within 10 feet. Yeah. That's a 20 to hit, Ungren. Are you muted? I didn't hear you.
My AC is 20.
That hits, I believe. Does anybody know the rule on that? I think meets or
Yes.
It
exceeds.
hits.
Meet or beat.
Okay. All right, so yeah, it hits you. And you're going to take...
2 million damage.
No. You take no damage, but you are grabbed. You are, unlike a normal grab, you are not immobilized, but you cannot move beyond the reach of the boggart's tongue. You cannot get more than 10 feet from this boggart.
Oh, I wasn't planning on moving anyways.
All right. Well, that was its first action. For its second action, it's going to sling you.
Oh.
Actually, that was his third. It's second action, so this would be his third.
Oh, yeah, he moved, tongued, and now he's slinging. So that's for 26 to hit, and it does a whopping 2 bludgeoning. So
Ooh.
this little frog guy with weapons comes lurching out of this puddle, sticks his tongue to you, and throws a rock at your head.
Yeah. What the fuck? Dodged it.
And then his friend does it too. The friend is going to come lurching out and also go for Ungren. You fucked with their puddle, man. So he's coming up and he's going to take his Morning Star to you.
Okay.
And that one is...
melee.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to give him the -5 for his second attack, but it still would have been 21. So, but yeah, so this guy is taking his Morning Star, and that is a 16 to hit, which I know misses.
Mm-hmm.
And just for yucks, he's going to not attack for his third action. He's going to do his terrifying croak.
Oh, not the terrifying croak.
That's the actual name of the ability. Any non-boggard within 30 feet becomes frightened unless they succeed at a DC 17 will save.
Lord.
Hey. Willpower. Eh?
I failed.
I got a 21.
Okay. Will
I'm
save.
not gonna roll on this napkin.
Oh, baby.
Sorry, what is
what's
the thing we're rolling?
24.
24. You need to make a will save. You gotta
Oh,
beat 17.
sorry.
You are terrified of the croak.
Yeah, I don't know where my will is, but...
I don't either. Anyone want to
Oh,
help
wait,
her?
there it is. I found it. I 18.
Is-
18?
18 will save.
We gotta roll it.
Okay.
It's not plus 18, is it?
My what?
Your will save.
My will is +9, and I rolled a 9.
Oh, I see. I didn't see you roll it. I thought you just read the number 18 off your sheet.
Nope.
I was like, what? Okay, cool. So, Cody, I think, is the only one who failed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, our tank.
Or
They
did-
can't get you with the Morning Star, but that croak, man.
The Dread
Yeah,
Croak
watch out for that
is,
croak.
my favorite Looney Tunes is One Froggy Evening. The one with Michigan J. Frog.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. But I
Um,
like it when he stops singing, he does that.
Oh, yeah.
Can I see that cheat sheet of
Yeah.
yours?
Which one?
The cheat sheet
It's quite
that I
terrifying.
gave you.
Horrifying.
Okay, so you, Cody, are going to be frightened for 1 minute. And that means...
Yeah,
frightened 1. So this means you take a status penalty on all your checks, DCs, and saving throws equal to the value of 1. Unless noted otherwise, at the end of each of your turns, the value of your frightened condition decreases by 1. So you're frightened for 1 turn, you take a -1 penalty to everything.
Okay.
At the end
Works
of your
very
turn.
differently.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not too bad compared to the frightened.
it really isn't. Yeah, I do like the number value, though. Frightened 1, it could be frightened 5. If it was...
So then round
Yeah, that
1 it
could
would
be-
start
that
as
could suck.
5,
Yeah.
Yeah.
-5 to all, and then round 2 would be -4 to all.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's kind of hot.
yeah.
I think I like that
That could
better,
be brutal.
actually. Because if you think about it,
Yeah, that's
like,
pretty cool. Oops.
5e
Oh my
frightened
God.
is just running around, running away.
Yeah, disadvantage and unable to approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole character sheet is now red on this website, and my AC is actually lower by 1.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that is both of the Boggards'
frightened?
turn, and it is now Monty Buns.
Monty Buns. Monty Buns says, "What's the plan? Run, fight, science!" And electricity shoots out of his fingers, from definitely not magical means.
How-
how
an
many-
electric arc?
How many watts is it?
1.21 megawatts. It's not very big. It's pretty small.
It's the
So
amperage.
It's like 1.1 half watts.
It's the amperage that does the damage.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Electric arc.
how's that work?
So it targets 1 or 2 creatures, so 2 creatures within 60 feet because I have extendo range spells, and they have to do a basic reflex save.
Okay, so the guy with his tongue stuck to Ungren gets a 20, And the guy who doesn't have his tongue stuck to anyone gets a 19. So
Yes,
the guy
and
whose
that
tongue is stuck is better at reflex.
20 and a what?
The guy whose tongue is stuck to someone right now is better at a reflex save.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What did they roll? A 20 and
20 and 19.
19. Okay, yeah, they needed a 17, so they're fine.
They are fine. They dodge your lightning.
My lightning.
And then they look at each other like, how the fuck did we do that?
With my last action, I'll step back 5 feet
Okay.
to get ready to run.
And at long last, Boomface McGee.
Woo!
All right. I would like to blow something up.
Yeah.
I'm going to chuck a moderate alchemist's fire.
Yeah, you are.
Let's just do the roll, and then I'll piece together everything.
Okay.
Oh, 7 plus 5. 12. Probably not going to hit.
I navigated away. I think you're correct, though. Yeah, it does not hit.
Okay. Yep, that's a whiff. Nothing anticlimactic.
Does it blow up anyway?
I guess I'll try and...
Yeah, like, how does that work? If you throw a bomb and it doesn't hit what you threw it at, it's still a fucking bomb, right? Like,
Well, there's that splash damage. So, what if we should apply the splash damage and not the direct damage?
that's what makes sense to me. Enough so that I would rule it that way without checking the book.
Alright, hold on a second here. So the splash trait, I'm reading directly from the book here. Most bombs also have the splash trait. When you use a thrown weapon with the splash trait, you don't have your strength modifier. Okay, yeah. If an attack with a splash weapon fails, succeeds, or critically succeeds, all creatures within 5 feet of the target, including the target, take the listed splash damage.
Okay, so they take the splash damage even if you miss,
Yes. So they're going to take 3 damage each.
including Ungren.
It would not. Yeah, it hit me last time.
And they're going to take the persistent damage, too. For example, if you throw a lesser acid... Oh, no. It doesn't do that.
He's within 5 feet.
Yeah, I took it last time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Alright.
Good thing you're a giant, Ungren.
We got Throck in the chat, guys.
What's up?
What's up?
That's the frogs talking, the boggarts.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
All right,
right.
so I believe that was your first action, correct?
How much? I'm sorry. I'm taking 3 splash right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scaldrix, you still have 2 actions left, right?
Yeah, I'm going to take the -5 and try and sling the one in front.
Okay.
So it'll be a total of +3. Ooh, that's a 20. +3.
Okay,
23.
you got him. To clarify, the one in front is not the one that's been hurt. Because the one that got hurt is the one who stuck Ungrim with his tongue, and he's 10 feet away from Ungrim. The other guy ran up to melee range with his Morning
So
Star.
that guy, I'm okay with hitting the guy that hasn't been hit yet.
Okay. Although he
Alright,
did get bombed, but...
6 +1. Alright. That's a 6. 7 damage.
Woot!
Nice.
Well, he has been damaged. What was it that you hit him with?
A sling bullet.
Okay, so he gets that right between the eyes, and it leaves a lump.
Stupid frog eyes.
So I have a question. Are we supposed to be adding like our dex to our damage, like normal, like in 5e?
I am sure that the fancy character builder sheet that you guys found on the web would give you that information.
Yeah, on it just says 1d whatever, so it doesn't actually imply any of that.
Mine adds my strength bonus to mine.
Let me see the book, please.
Sure.
In
This
this
is-
edition, I don't think you add your dex. You add your dex to the attack roll, but not damage.
No, you add prof to accuracy, not damage. You definitely add your ability mod to damage.
Okay, I am going to do. This is my favorite part of
Strength
Tales
you
from
do.
the Backlog: the checking of the book.
Yeah, strength you do. I didn't know you did it for Dex.
Oh. I don't know.
It probably depends on what type of weapon, because my melee strikes I add my strength bonus, but my range strikes I add special.
Special bonus.
Yep.
Okay, then I will continue to not add dex. That's fine.
You know what's
Maybe there's a
great
feat that
about the Pathfinder 2e book? A lot of rules. This is the second rule I've looked up tonight that actually has a short text explanation of the rule, like a quick reference in the index. So I just looked up attack, and it gives me the formula for your attack roll. Unfortunately, not damage, but now I've turned the page to damage. Damage dealt to a creature that reduces hit points on a 1-to-1. Melee damage roll equals damage dice of the weapon or unarmed attack, plus strength modifier, plus bonuses, plus penalties. Range damage roll equals damage die of the weapon, plus strength modifier for thrown weapon, plus bonuses, plus penalties. It doesn't say anything about dex for a crossbow.
Okay, then we're good. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it doesn't do dex damage. There you go. But again, that's
Just so
the
used to everything being uniform.
that's the index
Yeah.
version of the rule, so it might be wrong. See you later, Joshua. Thanks for coming by. So back at the top of the round with Ungren Darkbeard. You have a tongue stuck to you, and you're afraid 1.
Yeah, I'm just gonna load my crossbow for 2 actions,
Okay.
which will trigger precision, and then I will shoot the guy tonguing me.
Okay.
Does 16 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and I will ka-chunk him for 12 damage.
All right. Well, that crossbow bolt goes in the front of his head and comes out the back of it.
And they're slack.
Okay.
from the tongue.
Yeah, it's still kind of stuck to you, but it kind of slides down your body as he collapses.
Cool. And I end my turn, so I'm no longer scared. Or frightened, I should say.
You are no longer frightened.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
It's
B.
me. All right. So this guy is down?
Yeah, whichever one was further away is down.
Yes. So, and I am going to dart through here and attack guy number 2. So that's my movement. I'm going to use Wolf Stance. And
Wolf stance?
yes.
Okay.
I'm going to do special unarmed wolf jaw, and I believe I can do. Yeah. So that is. I just want to make sure I can do flurry of blows and wolf stance at the same time, because to enter wolf stance is an action. So I am taking my action to enter wolf stance, and then I'm going to hit him with flurry of blows, where I
Okay.
make 2 strikes. And as I do, I scream, "He doesn't want to be touched!" And so the first one, I'm going to assume hits because it is a 23.
Miss. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Very funny, dear.
I'm hilarious.
You're hysterically funny. And the second one is also 23.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Finally, I'm rolling
That's
well.
different.
Okay.
It's because you're using the dice tray I made you.
Yes. Well, I was using it all evening, dear. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, I was mad at you earlier.
Okay. So, but actually the 23, it still takes the -5 penalty, even with flurry
It
of
still
blows.
hits.
But yeah, it still hits. Okay, so I'm going to roll my damage. Let's see. We're hitting a, what is it called? I wanted to say a Bogart, but that's Harry Potter. Okay, so that's going to
And
be
Humphrey.
a total of 6 plus 4 is 10 damage. And because he is flanked, Wolf Stance, I can use, it is actually piercing damage. Because I'm going low and like using my fingers as claws, so it's 10 piercing damage.
All right.
And I would also like to trip him.
That's
which
the
I
total
can-
for both strikes?
That's the total for both strikes.
Okay.
I rolled low on damage,
All right.
but I can trip him as well. And
How does that work?
It says, if I'm flanking a target while in wolf stance, my wolfjaw unarmed attacks also gain the trip trait,
Okay.
which I believe means I can just go ahead and trip him too.
We have to look up that trait. I'm going to
Okay.
Google it. Not Google it. I have the PDF of the book. I'm going to search the PDF.
Yeah, it's not on the weapon traits list here on the cheat sheet.
Okay.
Trip trait.
Okay, so equipment. It's probably in equipment. And then it would be like weapon traits.
I can use this weapon or attack to trip with the athletic skill even if I don't have a free hand. It adds the weapon's bonus item as to attack rolls as an item bonus to athletics check.
Okay.
If you critically fail a check to trip using the weapon, you can... Okay, so I can use it to trip.
Yeah, but it's...
Yeah, so it's
a weapon
separate
trait. It's on
attack.
page 283.
Okay. Yeah, never mind on the trip. I don't get the trip for free. It's a third attack, and I've already used up my 3 actions.
It's a third attack.
I mean, it's a whole action.
Okay.
So,
I'm still going to look it up.
all right.
Trip 283 as a weapon trait. Okay. Well, anyway, that's your turn. The boggard will now go,
Yes.
and he's going to nat 20
No, no.
on... You ran up and hit him.
I sure did.
Yeah, it's got to be you.
Okay.
That's his Morning Star, so it's...
Oh, yikes. Okay.
What is your AC?
19.
Okay, he did not crit.
No. Okay.
I got so excited when I saw the 20. I'm just so used to it.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that. Okay, anyway, 1d6 plus 3 for you. 9 bludgeoning.
I'll take it.
Bet you will. And yeah, you know what? He's gonna do another terrifying croak. Everybody, please make a will save.
Another one?
Yeah.
Oh,
I rolled
Nah.
over 20.
Yep.
That
23.
wasn't as good. I only rolled a 17.
I got 12 combined. So.
Scaldrick, you are frightened 1.
Okay.
That frightened 6 used to have a heart attack.
Yeah, probably. So that was his second action. For his third, he's going to go ahead and try and hit you again, B. And yeah, that is going to be a 26. to hit.
Ouch. Okay, yeah. Against 19.
By the way, I rolled that with the dice tower that Joe and Liz gave me. That was the first in-game use of a dice tower for me.
Ooh.
And another 9 bludgeoning. I rolled max damage. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, 9. I rolled max damage on the damage both times.
I go, ah!
Oh, I said 26 because
Yeah.
I forgot to subtract the 5, but it still would have hit, just like last time. It still would have hit.
Yeah, it would have been 21.
Yeah. All right. That is the boggard's turn. Monty Buns, you're next.
Maybe you like fire. Produce flame.
I really don't.
Small ball of flame appears in the palm of my hand and Hadoken. That's what it says right here. That's exactly what it says verbatim in the book. It's
Okay.
crazy. Wow.
And the
So glad they
bog
got the IP.
the boggart
All
sees
right.
the thing flying at him and goes, "What sorcery is this? There is no logical explanation."
It was made by oxygen and heat and friction. And then I attack.
Witchcraft!
Lies. This craft. That's witchcraft.
What is it?
17 plus something.
Okay, you got him.
Got him. Now I do a D4. D4. Wait, it's not a crit, is it? It's like a 24.
It is not a crit.
Ah, dang. Okay. Because then he would have taken persistent damage. 4 plus my level plus your spellcasting. Oh, ability modifier. Oh, I thought it was plus level, which would be intelligence, right? So 8 damage? No, this guy just took 8 damage on a cantrip?
Yeah. Very good.
That's insane. Okay, yeah, I guess that's right.
He dies thinking about what an awful, horrible sorcerer you are.
This is correct because I am no sorcerer. I am a scientist.
You are an evil demon with spells.
I like to imagine this is the conversation as
he's burning to death on the ground.
Still arguing with you.
All right. Well, you guys have heroically fled from the bear and slain the boggards. Dungeon's going well so far.
Great.
It is about time for our break. So let's take 15 minutes now. You guys go ahead and level up to 4.
Woo!
I was hoping... Yeah, you gained a level from talking to goblins and running from a bear. But yeah, I want you guys to be able to meet the challenges ahead. So go ahead and take the level at the break, and we will wrap this up when we come back.
Yay!
Okay.
All right.
Bye forever, everybody.
We'll see you all in 15 minutes. It's not goodbye forever, unless Cody dies of old age. All right, we are back. Everyone's leveled up to 4.
Woo!
From the intense amount of experience gained by defeating 2 boggards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyone familiar with Hellknight Hill, which, if there's any Pathfinder fans watching, I'm sure a lot of you are, because it was like one of the first 2E adventures put out. But anyone familiar with it will know that I'm truncating a bit. There's 2 reasons for that. 1, we're short on time, because we're only playing this for 2 sessions. And 2, my pre-made dungeon terrain didn't have all the little doorways. So just fuck those other rooms, right? But yeah, so we're gonna finish up tonight one way or the other. But I would like you guys to get to experience the leveling up process in this game, because it's part of the game, and that's what we're here to test out. So yes, you have slain the 2 boggards. You are all now level 4. I understand there is now a flying kick in the group.
Woo!
Yeah. And let's hear what everyone else take. B, why don't you tell our viewers what you took?
I'd be delighted to. I've taken Flying Kick and something that I anticipate having a lot of fun with, which is Cognitive Crossover, where I can actually, when I do a knowledge check that calls on a skill, I can actually call 2 areas that I'd like to do my check in, say nature and survival, and if my survival check fails, I can roll it again in nature.
Outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was saying, I feel like a lot of people playing D&D and similar games do that anyway without rules permission.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I failed. Can I try it again? Monty Buns, what'd you take?
I took, where did it go? What was the first one? Oh, Battle Medicine, because as we all know, Monty is a very skilled healer. And at least he thinks he is. And so now he can heal, spend an action, be adjacent to an ally, even in combat, and attempt a medicine check and restore a corresponding amount of hit points. So I think how I'm flavoring that combined with, I mean, I don't think you can combine it with Risky Surgery, because Risky Surgery is specifically for treat wounds. However, how I'm saying it, I think is Monty just kind of like slaps him as like, you're healed, or something. I don't know. Maybe he gives him like a little vial of Michael's secret sauce. What's it called from Space Jam? Anyway. Yeah, I'm still workshopping it. But yeah, battle medicine. Also, counterspell, which is as what it's spend a reaction and you counter a spell as long as it's of a lower level. You expend a prepared spell to counter the triggering creature's casting of that same spell. Right. So okay, so I can only cancel spells that I have prepared. I see. And then I lose the spell slot as if I like spend it. But essentially, so what?
Wait. I'm
like,
sorry.
Someone's gonna.
I'm sorry. Back up. You have to have the spell that you're countering?
I think so. I forgot about that. I looked at that like a week ago. You expend a prepared spell to counter the triggering creature's casting of that same spell.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of stupid. But yeah, I wish there was a way to heighten it. Like in Pathfinder 2e, it's like heightening is doing it at like a higher level. And I wish there was a heightening of, I don't know, 3 or something where you just kind of like make a check. I don't know. It's weird. I can look up the pages on to see if there's more. But yeah, essentially you can only counter it. So if someone casts
Fireball.
Animate Dead,
Yeah.
or Produce Flame or Electric Arc, I can essentially, Monty says, that's not real. That's pretend. That's not happening. That's not magic. That's not how you do it. And then it goes away. Yeah, it is kind of weird. I don't know if I like that or not. But anyway, that's what we have. We'll see it. We'll see if it works.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It does seem a lot more conditional than the D&D version of Counterspell.
Yeah.
Yeah, the D&D version of Counterspell is broken. Like that. Bullshit.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I don't agree with that. Because it makes the DM mad when the players use it, and it makes the players mad when the DM uses it. And that means it functions correctly.
I think I'm also supposed to have second level spells as well. I'm going to look into that real quick. I think I messed up and should have had more spells.
What's the deepest you've ever gotten with a counterspell battle? It was 3 for me. I cast something. Counterspell, counterspell, counterspell.
I think we got 4.
Wow.
But our DM likes to make us fight a lot of mages in the current campaign. That is rough. It's really rough. I've eaten so many colds.
Man, Alan's character in our main campaign, Zalen, all the same guy technically, he was counterspelling me like a lot before I was finally remembered to give one of the monsters counterspell. And that was just the best day, because you could see him like, crap, it finally happened. Counterspell is counterspell. And then he counterspelled a different character counterspelled my counterspell of his counterspell.
Who did that?
I was going to say that.
Ramakon.
Like too many reasons.
Eric's character.
He's the only one. Yeah, he was the only. I was like, what?
Yeah. Anyway, enough of that game that we're not playing right now. What are you guys gonna do? You have killed 2 boggards. There's a disgusting.
Didn't even go over everyone's level up.
Oh, we didn't. I'm so sorry. What did you take, Ungren? I got distracted.
I took Hefty Hauler, which lets me carry more stuff, loot bags, not a big deal. And running reload, which I have a question that the DM will have to adjudicate real quick.
Go for it.
A heavy crossbow usually takes 2 actions to reload. However, running reload costs 1 action, which allows you to move and reload your crossbow in the same action. Is it 1 action to now reload my heavy crossbow, or is it 2, but I also get to move?
Can you read me the exact text of running reload?
Yeah. What the heck? Where? Okay. You can reload your weapon on the move. You stride, step, or sneak, then interact to reload.
I say it allows you to move on one of the actions that it takes to reload.
Okay.
It
So
doesn't reduce the
gonna-
reload time, but it allows you to move as well. Yeah.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure.
And Skuldrix, what did you get?
I have taken the skill feat of Quick Squeeze, So I can squeeze 5 feet per round. So
Okay.
makes me a little bit more wiry. And then class feat. And the class feats for bombers are not great at level 4. They don't really give you anything great. I could have taken Calculated Splash, which lets you add your intelligence modifier. Lets you use your intelligence modifier instead of the splash damage. But even with my intelligence being 16, that's still only a plus, 14, only a plus 2. So the splash damage for like my moderate bombs is already plus 2. So I chose Smoke Bomb instead.
Ooh.
Where I can use my quick alchemy to craft an alchemical bomb. I cause the bomb to create a cloud of thick smoke in addition to its normal effects. When thrown, the bomb creates a cloud of smoke in a 10-foot radius burst. The cloud is centered on it. Creatures in that area are concealed, and other creatures are concealed to them. Smoke lasts for 1 minute or until dissipated by a strong wind. So basically, I can do Batman bombs if I need to.
Nice.
Nice.
Disappear in a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as I was saying, you guys have killed 2 boggarts. Why don't we take the boggarts off the table?
Would like to do a medicine to heal myself.
Okay.
All right, let me just have this queued up, ready to go.
While B's doing silly healing things, the rest of you are very concerned about her. But what are you going to do?
I'll drag a corpse of one of the boggards over and toss it over the sofa so that the bear has more food and does not have to wander out to potentially find us.
Well, you know, the bear can't reach the sofa without squeezing through that doorway. So do you want to leave it on the sofa, or do you want to take it all the way to the bear's room?
No. Just, he'll take it back. It's fine.
Okay, the bear is going to have to come out of his room for his next meal.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to do that anyways at some point, but now he only has to travel to the sofa and does not have to go beyond that.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't like the smell of that bog, but maybe the boggart will be far enough from the bog.
Well, explicitly, he's eaten boggart before. We saw those corpses.
Yep.
I'd like to search the room for, I don't know, check the walls. Is the furniture in here accurate? Like, is there like a bookshelf and a chair and a barrel, or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's just kind of run my hands along the walls, secret doors, that type of thing.
Roll me a perception check.
Sure. My perception overall is a +4. I have 5 for proficiency, and then -1 because I'm a dumbass goblin. 12 total. 8 + 4.
You find no secret doors or secret anythings by running your finger along the wall. Did you say that you were going through the cabinet? Because there's.
Yeah.
I know you're kind of seeing the back of it, but that bigger piece of furniture is actually a desk, and and the other thing is a cabinet, and then there's a barrel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to make my way along the walls. So I'll go over to that smaller desk thing, I guess, as well.
All right. So what you find is just a bunch of random shiny bits that the boggarts have collected. Essentially, mostly just useless pieces of bent metal. But you do come up with about 15 gold pieces worth of like bent or dented coins.
Cool.
I'll pocket that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, what was your perception check again? What was your roll for that? It was like
A 12.
it's pretty good, right?
No, it was a 12.
Yeah, okay, so you actually do find something. There is a little tunnel carved into the far wall that goes about 3 feet into the earth beyond. And in that there are like bent lengths of metal and pipe. So It looks like the boggarts were digging this.
Okay. And this is on the saying that
It's on the
north
wall.
is facing you.
Yeah, it's on the wall between the desk and the cabinet.
Okay. And is it like is it going just straight out, or is it down at an angle?
It's pretty much straight out.
Okay.
And
I'll crawl in there and see if I can see what they're trying to. Were they digging with their claws, or do they have some sort of tool or something they were using?
it looks like they were using these little pieces of metal that are in here, like the pipes and stuff that were. They were using those as digging implements, and it only goes about 3 feet, like I said, so there's not much need to crawl in there to see it. But yeah, it's like the start of a tunnel.
I wonder if I could make a bomb. Yeah, actually, because I can like set it like a trap. Is there some way that I could, kind of jury rig? So I have the feat of what is it? Just a sec. Sorry, let me go back to my character sheet on my phone here. Demolition Charge. So I can rig bombs to inanimate objects in order to cause destruction to the surrounding areas.
So what would you rig it to?
So I would create like some sort of like use some rope, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of make it a charge that way. You can't really see what my hands are doing, but pulling it, you know what I'm saying?
So your intention is that the bomb would be set off when what happens?
I'm gonna make a rope long enough to go outside of the room, so 20 feet of rope.
Okay.
I'm gonna place a charge inside of this hole at the end of it.
Oh, you're going to try and blast out the tunnel for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Blast out the rest of the tunnel.
Okay, yeah, you can try that.
So I'm gonna take 2 of my lesser alchemist fire bombs
Okay.
and attach them to the far wall inside of that tunnel,
Cool.
and pull it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and assume that everyone else heard the fire in the hole and got back.
Yeah.
And one thing I do want to clarify that I should have said before. I don't think it would have affected any of your decisions to this point, but those boggarts you killed were wearing robes with religious symbols on them. Yeah. So you pull your rope and bomb your bomb. You used alchemist fire, right?
Yes.
So, you dislodge some dirt from the end of the tunnel, and then the inside of the tunnel is kind of on fire for a little bit, and not much else happens. Your best guess is that this was going to be the start of a long tunnel that was going to go somewhere, and it's just barely, like...
They just got started.
Like, they just got started. There were 2 boggarts here. If there were more, they got eaten by the bear. And, yeah, you blast some dirt out. Then that doesn't go anywhere, but the bottom of the tunnel, after the fire burns in there for a while, you can see that, like, the flexing of the materials from the intense heat of your alchemist fire starts to crack things. And the bottom of the tunnel falls out, and you now see a hole going to the lower level of the dungeon.
Hey, shortcut.
Nice.
And,
Well-
get some friends together every time.
Yeah. I will say I am still not doing that great. I did pass my healing check of 15, but healed myself for only 8.
Did you drink your Elixir of Life?
I have not
You got a
drunk my
potion.
Elixir of Life. How much?
1d6.
1d6?
1d6 plus 1.
All right, I will add my Elixir of Life. All right, so that's another 5. Alrighty.
Doing a little better
Feeling
now.
a little better.
There's one more thing with the Elixir of Life. Hold on a second. It also, gain an item bonus to saving throws against diseases and poison for 10 minutes. A +1 to saving throws.
All right.
Well, do you want mine also? Are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm good. We'll save it for...
You don't want to take a rest here in the bog room between the bear den and the flaming tunnel?
I think in the flaming tunnel is ideal.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for someone to say, let's take a long rest.
I'm just going to be grumbling to myself, like, if we'd killed the bear, we could have eaten that. I'm not going to eat the boggin. Bear is good eating on a
Everyone's
bear.
just totally cool with just killing the random bear.
Yeah.
I'm not. I walked away from it.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, why are you killing the bear?
I don't
Nah, we're
know.
going down the tunnel.
In this version of...
B
of
was talking
B's
about killing the
memory-
bear.
Oh, I said if
She's
we
talking
had
about eating the
killed...
bear.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have
It's just
to kill it to eat it.
saying that if we were going to attack something, it should have been the bear. It should have been something we could eat.
To kill it to eat it.
You don't want to cook up some frog legs?
I have strong feelings about not eating even semi-sentient creatures.
I can't fall down the hole.
If it's wearing clothes, I'm not going to eat it.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ungren?
I would like to advance.
Yeah.
I would like to jump down in the middle of the conversation. Like while the conversation sounds like it's like coming to the end of it, as far as Ungrim's aware, like he doesn't know, right?
Yeah.
He jumps down the hole.
This
right.
is exactly, by the way, this is exactly how I play. When,
Yes.
when the other players get caught up in minutia, I'm just like, yeah, I hit it with a stick.
All right. Ungrim jumps down a hole.
All right, well, here's what we got to do. Make some space, please.
Okay. Do I want me to clear all of this?
Spread out.
You can just kind of, if you want to move the camera off of it and then push everything towards me, I will bring out the next set. It is mostly in this box.
I make balls 25 feet shorter.
Okay. Well, then you made this fall about -10 feet.
So I went up. I'm actually above ground.
I think that means for purposes of damage, right?
Yeah. For those wondering why it's 25 and not 10 feet, it's because I took the feat catfall and then I bumped my training in acrobatics from trained to expert. There's a big difference between 5e and Pathfinder 2. There are tiers of how you train your skills.
May I set up more of those?
No.
Okay. Well, those are stairs we never found.
Yep. Well, no, you did find them.
They
You
just
found the top of them collapsed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As was described to you earlier. I did find it interesting that you were told maybe 3 times by Helba the Goblin
Yeah.
that there were collapsed stairways, and then you found a collapsed tunnel, and you were like, I wonder what this is.
Oh, I thought she meant above
Yeah, so did I. I didn't think she
the
meant...
wall above. Yeah, never mind. She wasn't the best at communication.
Well, let's
I
be
blame
fair.
her.
We're not a
Her
party
Charisma's
that's
like a
great at...
-2.
We're not a
It's a
party that's
language
great
barrier.
at listening.
Yeah, I don't know that Helba's really the one that's bad at communication, guys.
Ungrim is intentionally bad at communication.
Yes, that I acknowledge.
Doesn't like to be touched, and he doesn't really care for conversation.
All right. This is one of those builds I had mentally planned out, but not physically. Okay, there we go. So, Ungren is going to land right about there in this room, which is at the base of the staircase, which you know from seeing the other end is collapsed at the top.
Here?
Yep. Ungren, when you land, all your gear makes a big noise, and there's a thud from your feet hitting the floor. And it's like, it's one of those things where like the room is really, really quiet, and you're just super aware that you just made a loud noise in a dead silent place.
Like a fart in church.
I would like to cock my crossbow, knowing that makes a loud, audible click once I'm done.
Okay. Is it called cocking when you do it with a crossbow?
Who knows?
I think it's called drawing.
Windlass.
All right.
What's the
should be called crossing.
Alright, Google. Alright, you guys figure out what you're doing while I Google this.
Okay, go ahead. The rest of you guys are still above, and you've just watched Ungren go sliding into a flaming hole that Skuldrix blew in the floor.
I'll jump in after him.
Are you going to do a flip?
Sure.
She does a flip, guys.
I do a flip.
Badass. Sick ass flip.
I guess it's more of a somersault, really, since I'm going
Put my head
downwards.
first.
Okay, Skuldrix going head first.
Like the crocodile mile.
Important question. Are you going to do a flip?
Nope.
Okay, Skuldrix lands on his head. And Monty Buns.
I think Monty will slide on his belly.
All right.
As much as one can slide.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god, I'm the only one who rolls.
It's a reflex.
Like,
it's a reflex save.
I'm gonna do flips and shit, and like Monty's like, I'm gonna graciously slide down. Okay, yeah, you gotta roll for them.
Yeah, well, yes, but here's the thing. I hate you.
I should have done a spinning triple axle half turn, and then I would have been fine.
Yeah, you gotta have style, man.
16.
Okay, so Monty Buns goes sliding on his belly into the hole and loses it, and completely by accident, but looks like it was super on purpose, he lands in a perfect 3-point landing with his arm up and everything, and just everyone's like, whoa, Monty! I did a flip, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
You looked like Blade.
Oh, wow. Yes.
All right.
See, actually, I just wanted to know if I could make you look cool.
Oh, I see. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Whatever D20 roll is.
All right, so this room,
Now,
super-duper dark and quiet, as I said. It looks like it was a bigger room at one point. The walls to your back are not actually walls. They are just caved-in piles of rubble. However, there is a step down, just at the left edge of the camera there, into what looks like a very wide hallway.
So my crossbow's cocked.
Can I? Oh, sorry.
There.
up to the right, is that stairs going up or collapse?
Yeah, that is the stairway going up, but as I said, that is the bottom of the stairway that you saw at the top where it was collapsed and filled with rubble. So if you were to go up there, you already know you would find a blocked stairway.
So I want to ask, do we want to forego all possibilities of sneaking around by lighting a torch? Or do we want to prepare a torch to be lit as soon as we encounter opposition?
Oh yeah, is there any light?
Is
No,
it pitch black in here? Or?
It's totally, but you guys had a torch or some sort of light upstairs.
Yeah, B
So
would have held
B was
on to her
using a torch.
torch.
Yeah, because she's the one
and
without
I can
dark vision.
produce flame.
So
I could shoot fireballs at the walls.
yeah, so the answer to your question is you've already done that, because B brought the torch with her when she came down.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Theoretically, we could put it out.
You
and then
could
maybe,
you
like-
could choose to put it out now, but there is already a lit torch in the party.
I think we kind of forgot sneaking too, and we just blew a fucking 10-foot hole.
Yeah,
in the
we
floor.
just
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there is also a flaming hole in the ceiling.
Yes.
You're under it.
We blew
Well, we
stuff
could,
up and dropped out of it. Yeah.
Oh, what if we laid a trap, guys? Like, they're gonna come investigate this. We just shoot them when they come in. And don't try diplomacy. Or we could try diplomacy.
I think if we were gonna do a trap, we should have done it from like up there.
That's an interesting idea, though. See if anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just like. Yeah, we could try and get a corner and just wait for
Oh,
Rogue.
maybe we can
the
hide
person with the
cultist.
torch,
hide
which
on
I
the
think is.
stairs.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hide on the stairs.
Yeah. We can put our backs to that. You know, that's a safe area there.
I mean, and if someone wants to be bait with the torch so we can see.
I give you
They
a
can-
look, realizing you mean me.
They can stand out here, and we can be on the stairs and wait for anybody to
Well,
approach, and then
let's be
just
fair
snipe
about
them
this,
from the
though.
stairs.
Just say that anybody that doesn't have dark vision.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
true.
fine.
can
I'll
the
be your
It's
bait.
okay.
Nope, I'll be the
No,
bait.
rock,
Bill,
paper,
if
scissors,
somebody
right now.
tries, okay, rock paper scissors. Ready?
Wait, I thought B was the only one who didn't have dark vision. Anyways.
I don't have dark vision.
Oh, that was my.
I have low light vision.
Ready?
Rock,
Rock, paper,
paper,
scissors, go. Ah,
Okay,
Alright.
you know what? I'm gonna need you
Rock,
guys to do it below
paper.
camera,
okay.
and then hold up your hands after I tell you. Do the next one. You guys tied
Okay.
on scissors.
Ready?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
timing delay doesn't help with this.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Rock.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Cody wins.
All right.
For the record, I always do scissors.
Oh,
Okay, we are
I'll-
putting that in the record.
yeah. I'll make a note of that for the future.
I take it that means B is the bait.
No, I'll be the bait. That means I
Yeah,
want
we
to
were.
be the bait.
We wanted.
Cody
we
wanted
both
to be the
wanted.
bait.
to
So
do it.
what is the exact layout of the trap? You're just gonna stand over there with a torch and wait for someone to come kill you,
Yeah.
and hope you're better than them.
Yeah, because like I feel like I could bluff my way through like some ancient lore to like convince them like no, I can help them maybe if they're not trying to murder the goblins all the time. So we will all attempt diplomacy for exactly 10 minutes. If that doesn't work, I'm killing them.
Okay.
All right.
This reminds me of like the thing in the Holy Grail where they send the rabbit up. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like explaining like how the rabbit's gonna work like while they're outside of it. Me, you, then Lancelot, all hop out. You know.
That's outstanding.
Still haven't. Another thing I haven't seen.
What?
Okay, this is what you guys need to understand about Cody. He's half the age of most of the rest of us.
Yes.
And as a result, the only things he's seen are SpongeBob and Pokemon.
I don't think that's a viable excuse. I think the fact that like I just didn't grow up in an American-style household is more the excuse.
Okay, that's true. But I know like a white kid from Missouri, my cousin, who's even younger than you, and he doesn't know anything. Like anything. He discovered Back to the Future like 3 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And an ironic twist going back to the past.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, man. We all accept as we get older that we're going to meet people who don't know things that everyone should know. It's just the way it is. All right. So how you light your torch, or you take B's lit torch and you
Yep.
stand out in the middle of the room. What are you going to do? You just going to stand there, or are you going to like derp around, or like what?
Are there like bullshit like art on the walls that I could be pretending to, or actually be doing my job, I guess, while I'm here?
Oh, yeah, there actually is. There are all sorts of tapestries most of them seriously defiled at this point, but like the Hellknights were like a very honor-driven martial sort of society, so they've got all this like artwork of their glorious deeds and their valorous commanders and all that jingoistic bullshit all over the walls.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put the torch in my mouth to hold it like this, and then I'm gonna start sketching and writing notes about it.
All right, yeah, and some of it's hard to see because obviously the Hellknights themselves left this place like years ago, and so creatures have been living here for a long time, and they've defaced stuff. Like some of it's just dirty. Like there's one tapestry that looks like someone used it as toilet paper. Like it's just they're not art lovers is the gist of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
When I do my report, I'll pretend like they are. Even though like Hellknights are still around though, they're not like.
Oh yeah, the Hellknight Order is alive and well. They just don't use this fortress anymore.
Yeah,
they
but
moved
it's still
on.
like old. It's still valuable to know how they lived in it.
Yeah.
To other scholars, so okay.
All right. Yeah. So you study that, and why don't I have everyone roll a perception check now, please?
Cool. Ah.
Ooh. I
14.
rolled 2. I'm picking my nose more.
Oh, I've been rolling terrible tonight.
2-14. Corey?
Can I smell whatever's approaching? Is it the rock?
It's pretty smelly in here.
Okay.
Also 14.
Well, it's a nat 1, which is not good. 8.
So the two highest rolls were both 14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Should they make stealth rolls at any point?
I suppose if we're hiding, we should, huh?
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yep.
Everyone except Ungren make a
Nat
stealth
20! Nat 20! Brr, brr, brr.
roll. Nat 20 for
27.
how much? 27.
For hide. Yeah, 27.
13.
13. And Skaldrix? How much?
Oh, no,
how-
I rolled 2. I told you I'm picking my nose.
Oh, no, this is now a stealth check.
Oh, a stealth check. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You guys are, except for Ungren, all hiding in the dark.
Oh, this is to see if you guys can see if I'm picking my nose or not.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, there was first it was, can you see while picking your nose, and now it's, can you be seen while picking your nose?
No, I'm a goblin. I'm very, very good at picking my nose stealthily. Total 22.
Total 22. I don't feel like
14
goblins
plus.
prioritize doing it stealthily, but I guess Skaldrix does.
Yes.
We're so good at it. that it's
Professional
seconds.
nose picking. Here.
I'm sorry, Corey, can you remind me your stealth roll?
27, nat 20.
All right, so you guys are,
Rapport.
you guys
Yes.
aren't even sure where you are, is what I'm getting here.
Yeah, even my terrible roll is balanced out.
Yeah. Your perception is awful, but you are not seen. Ungren, did I get a perception from you?
14. I got.
That's
high
right.
highs.
You and B tied.
Yes.
So, yeah, I am going to apply those rolls as your initiative. Those of you who are hidden can use your stealth roll as your initiative. This is a fun mechanic of Pathfinder. I get to decide what skill initiative is.
Ooh, that is fun.
Perception is the baseline, but in this case, because you guys are practically invisible over there, you can use your stealth rolls for your initiative. B,
So cool.
Yep.
you can pick whichever one was higher.
Okay, that's gonna be the perception by 1.
Okay? So I am going to take all your numbers down at this point. I didn't write them down a minute
Looks like
ago.
it's about to tip.
Ungren, your 14 is going to be your initiative, and yours
14.
as well.
Yeah.
So I know from previous ties that Ungren's is higher, so Ungren will go
Yes.
before B. Corey, yours was like 26?
27.
27. And Jeff was 22. Okay. So that's going to be the initiative as you see. Where are they? Where are those jackasses? These two jackasses
Shot that
come
one.
in.
Okay.
Very dramatic.
Hey, where? From whence?
From the only entrance that isn't the staircase.
Which is down here?
Yeah. Wait, they're coming to you. They're coming to you guys. They're
Okay.
not on the other end
They're
of the
up
world.
here?
Yes. They are coming up out of the dark. And a good 15 feet behind them is this guy. He is a big, hairy dude wearing armor. The other two are boggards, like the ones that you saw before, only they look a little bit meaner. I wonder what there's so mean about them. All
They're
right.
just frowning.
Yeah.
And a big hairy guy in armor. Bugbear?
They must have
behind him?
Looks like a bugbear.
Those boggards must have just gained a level 2.
Well, they got a 25, and
Yeah.
the hairy bastard is gonna get a 28.
Ah.
What?
Hmm.
Bullshit. Let me be on
Monty's
well.
sad.
Everyone's mad. Everyone's mad. So hairy bastard sees you standing there, Ungren, and yells, "You!"
Ah! Did I notice him before? Did he just roll up on me?
He just rolled up.
Ah!
Your perception was your initiative, and he rolled higher than it, so you did not see him before he yelled. Yeah, he's "You! Tell me how you got in here, or I will kill you!" And then he attempts to kill you.
Oh.
He's
Very
Oh.
good at interrogation.
gonna.
That's how threats work.
Yeah, he's wearing robes with all sorts of like extra symbols all over him. He looks like he might be the leader. He's throwing a hatchet at your head.
No, he's not.
Captain Leader is throwing a hatchet for 22 to hit.
Oh, that
Oof.
hits. My AC is now 21.
Okay. And he gets 10 slashing for that.
Oh my god, I think that's more damage than all the other damage I've taken combined.
Oh.
Cool. Well, at this point, he's thrown his hatchet, so he's really like a giant baboon type guy. He's just ugly as hell. Having thrown his hatchet, he's going to just grab up debris from the ground from all the cave-ins, and he's going to throw some debris at you now. He's going to take a -5 for his extra attack, and that means he rolled a 0 with a
Crit fail.
+11 modifier.
Yikes.
Still a crit fail.
Yeah, it's a crit fail.
21.
It's a crit fail. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything in an attack, right?
No, it does. So my heavy crossbow has special effects for crits.
Yeah, but the
But-
monster stat block doesn't.
Well, make something up.
All right, well, he hurts himself. He takes some damage. Let's see how much.
Yeah.
There
Let's
you
see
go.
how much.
More than. I hope he rolls an 11.
He rolled a 2, bud. All right. I'm going to put his HP over here. You know, you guys are aware I built this giant, fancy-ass gaming table over the pandemic. So far, by far the most useful feature of it is that I painted the underside of all the planks, including the DM screen, with dry erase clear coat. So
Ooh.
I'm literally tracking hit points and initiative just on the DM screen with a marker.
That's hot.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's really good. Yeah, it's the thing all these little things I built into the table, that's the one I use the most. All right, so that was 2 for him. You know what? He would attack again, but I'm going to say the result of that crit is that he loses his momentum and loses his third action. So after him, it is Monty Buns. How are you going to science these guys to death?
I have a rules question. I'll just look it up, actually. Sustain spells, is it like Concentrate in 5e where you can only have 1 sustain? Does anybody know offhand?
I do not know. I
should have looked that up.
My very educated guess would be yes, it is like that, but it's a guess. I don't know.
10 minutes sends a spell.
Yeah.
Doop,
Sustain a
doop,
spell,
doop.
action, extend a spell with a sustained duration. It's an action to continue.
Oh, it's an action. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I could sustain 1 spell for 1 action and cast another spell for 2 actions. Essentially, if I don't move.
As long as the sustain is an option.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The spell has a duration.
Sure.
sustain.
Yeah.
That's how I
Okay.
interpret it.
Cool. Yeah. Oh man, that's a really cool mechanic. Because I think 5e you just have to. Well, I guess 5e is kind of similar. If those spell doesn't have concentrate, you don't do it anyway.
I just want to point out that Kenny has now stayed up until, 2 a.m.?
Oh wow.
Just to say shit in our chat.
I know. Just all the PC. It's great. It's fantastic.
It's 1 a.m. 1 a.m. there. Okay.
Okay. So, with that in mind, from Anime Day is also system. This will be fine. This will be fine. This will be fine. From the corner, out of nowhere, seemingly, all that. So from the hairy guy and the boggart's perspective, all that they hear is just from the corner. They just hear a little voice shout, "Silence!" And as that happened, a giant flaming sphere from the corner comes lashing out at them, and it appears on top of the right on top of the hairy guy.
Okay, what do I gotta do?
It says you create a sphere of flame in a square within range, which is on him. The sphere must be supported by a solid surface, such as stone floor. It deals 3d6 fire damage to each creature, so it's just the one dude. Each creature must attempt a basic reflex save. And then on subsequent rounds, the first time you sustain the spell, I can like leave it there or move it around, and it deals damage again.
What's the size of the flaming sphere?
It's just at 1 5 foot, so it's like 5 feet in diameter, I think.
His reflex save is 11.
He fails. The DC is
16, 17.
something.
Yeah, he rolled
Where's the
awful.
DC?
I'm not surprised he failed.
20, I think. 20 is the DC.
Okay, so he takes 2d6?
3d6.
Oh, what's the total?
Right.
Yeah, you
the
roll
roller.
it. You roll it.
I'm the roller.
I'm too important.
3, 6, 12. 12 fire.
Good night, Kenny. 12 fire indeed. Okay.
And I'll just man, I wish I had 1 action spells, but I don't, alas. So yeah, I'll just stay here.
Cody, I do just want to say, Kenny did not overtake you years ago, because Kenny's only been watching the stream for about 3-4 months. Kenny overtook you about a month ago. when he
let it be known.
when he came here in person and played a game.
Okay.
But you still have a 1-up on him. You are still the first and only viewer of our show to send us a gift. We were like, oh, we're famous now. We got viewers sending us stuff. Anyway, so is that all 3 of your actions, Monty Buns?
I don't know what to do for my last action, so... Oh, wait. There's that whole action thing. Hang on. I can, like, aid somebody, right? Or can I not, because nobody's doing anything? Oh, no, it's a reaction. I always forget to look at, like, this action cheat sheet. Oh, I can demoralize someone, unless you have to be trained in this. This might just be literally everything. I'm gonna fly. I don't think there's really a thing for me to do.
All right.
I'll point out. There we go. That's one action on this thing. I'll point out and say, look at the fire science I have created. I have made fire.
My favorite part of this character is that, like, there's very much an archetype of, like, no, magic is real, but it's just a form of science that we haven't fully learned yet, so we call it magic.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're doing. What you're doing is someone who doesn't understand magic or science.
Yeah. I'm not the crazy one. Everyone else is the crazy one.
Like some flat Earth bullshit over here.
That's
Pretty
fantastic.
much. Yeah.
That's
I wasn't
fantastic.
gonna go
The
there,
level
but
of
that's
cognitive
essentially-
dissonance.
It's outstanding. All right. So, Harry Dude went. Monty Buns went. Now the Boggarts go next because they rolled really well. One of them is running towards Ungren. So let's bring one of those Boggarts to... I keep calling them Boggarts with a T,
Yeah, me too.
but that's Harry Potter. These are Boggards with a D because that's different apparently. Yeah, so the frog guy goes to Ungren, and that's one action. Second action is his attack for 19 to hit.
Nope. Denied.
Okay, third action is his second attack.
Also denied.
I don't know about that, boss. It is 23 to hit.
Okay, allowed.
And
Or
that's
sustained.
That's with the -5. So it's going to be 1d6 plus 6 bludgeoning. 9 bludgeoning.
Heck? You wait till the last combat to start actually doing damage to me? What is this?
Well, I wanted you to make it to the last combat. You're welcome.
Thought it was planned to lure us in.
Yeah, to lure you in. That's
Literally.
exactly right. To the dungeon.
You sacrifice more people.
Quite masterful there.
The other Boggart is going to run for Monty Buns.
Can you see him?
Well, I'm sorry, but you just scienced the hell out of everyone. You're the only one he's
These
seen.
guys are,
Well, Monty Buns is
these guys are
actually
over the
behind
22
us.
for initiative.
Yeah, they got 25.
Shitbirds.
Yeah, didn't you hear everyone cursing at me when we rolled initiative?
Yeah.
No,
Um,
Skype's been-
Yeah, so he's running for Monty Buns. He's going to hit, I guess, B on the
Me,
way there, so
yes.
he'll attack B instead.
Bring it. That just
That
means I
is
don't have to
a
move.
13 to hit.
Not even close, baby.
Protect me, Queen Bee.
Yeah. And second attack is 27, 22.
That does hit.
Would you like
you
to
need
have
boots?
8 bludgeoning, please?
No.
Take it anyway. I need to get rid of it. We're moving soon. All right. Scaldrick's Boom Strike, or Boom Scrap, as it says on the
in
sheet.
keeping with the fire thing that Monty Buns started, I'm gonna range this.
It's
These are
giving
5
you
foot squares.
bloodlust, fire lust. The
Yeah,
giant flaming sphere.
Sure, Scaldrix. Monty started the fire thing. That's why you guys are down here, because Monty blew a hole in the floor.
Sorry, 5 foot squares.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna do a little goblin shuffle, sort of towards the middle here.
Okay. Sarah,
Get
can you
within
move?
20 feet of the big old.
Yeah.
Can you move Scaldrix towards the dude?
This
That's
one
my
or
favorite of
this
the
one?
goblin dances is
Yeah.
the goblin shuffle.
Big guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not so I'm directly adjacent to
Just
the
within
corridor.
20 feet.
Yeah. There, perfect. That's where I want to be. Yep. Don't put me next to the Battletoad. Get me within 20 feet of Dr. Zaius back there.
Oh my
Is
god.
that a reference?
The
Is that a
rap-
References that
Cody?
Cody doesn't know.
The rapid fire. Cody, Dr. Zaius and Battletoads. Either one?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, Battletoads I know is a thing.
Yeah.
Other one
Good,
doesn't.
that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have
The
only
Marcus
heard of
video game
Battletoads.
on
I have.
NES.
Dr. Zaius might be the one
That
that offends
game
me
is
the
so hard.
most.
I'm throwing a granada at Dr. Zaius back there.
A good old pineapple.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
You finally made a funky 17 plus 8, 25.
Holy cow. I'm sure that hit, but I'm going to check the stat block. Anyway, yeah, you hit him.
Alright, this is a 2d8, 2 persistent, and 2 splash. Oh, and I get a +1 too because of my goblin fire thing. Oh man. Oh wait, that's a 4. Never mind, I thought it was a 1. 12 plus 3, 15 damage.
Cool.
And then 2 persistent. So he's on fire even more than he was before. Does that stack?
I don't know, but I'm going to rule that it doesn't. I'll just take whichever's higher. Because you can't, like, you can only be so much on fire, right?
Well, you can be more on fire. And
That's
again,
a debatable question to ask.
Sounds like-
Goblin alchemist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like a challenge.
I mean, he is covered in flammable hair.
Yeah. It's like, is he on fire 1 or on fire 3 is the question.
Yeah, there you
Right,
go.
but like
Yeah.
if he's on fire 1 from Monty Buns and on fire 3 from Scaldrix, is it 4 or is it 3?
Yeah.
I'd say it's 3.
I say
I mean, if you were to ask a person whose torso is on fire if they could possibly be more on fire, they'd probably say no. They wouldn't want to be more on fire.
Yeah. They'd probably
Yeah.
just scream. Yeah.
Let's find
They'd be
one.
like, no, please, no more on fire.
All right.
All right.
Ungren's turn.
I'm gonna,
Oh wait,
I'm gonna
no.
try a sling attack.
I keep forgetting
Might
there's
be a minus.
there's 3 things you can do. Okay, go ahead.
This one's gonna have a -5. Hold on a second here, but I think there's a plus. I'm trying to announce what I'm doing for sure.
Yeah, sure. Do the thing. We appreciate your commitment to a good viewing experience.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sling is +9 to attack, so it's going to be a +4 overall. That is in between my laptop and the book. I'm going to re-roll that because I can't tell what it was. That's going to miss.
Alrighty.
No bueno. All right.
All right. Well, he doesn't even know that you did that because he's busy burning.
Yep.
Ungren Darkbeard. You've got a frog with a spear. Well, actually, it's a morning star, but it looks like a spear for some reason.
Yeah, I'm ignoring him.
All right.
I'm gonna shoot the big guy. So he's gonna be Hunter's Parade, and then I'm gonna quick draw, and blam! For 9 plus 10, 19.
That is a miss.
Oof.
Oh. Well, I'll cry now. Crying's a free action, right?
No, crying takes an action.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
It depends on how hard you want to cry. It might be 2 actions.
So,
One for each eye.
yeah, I'm gonna switch to my other crossbow, and then my turn.
Okay. B.
'Cause I assume
Okay.
it's not loaded, right?
You would not walk around with a loaded crossbow, I'm sure.
Not 2 loaded crossbows.
That's how you take an arrow to the knee. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take
And then
the
you blame it on
crossbow.
someone else.
That's
Yep,
what ends
exactly.
your adventuring.
Yeah, yeah.
Ungren's actually impatient for that to happen, I think. Like there's a part of
I feel
Ungren.
like-
After he finally got attacked, yeah.
Yeah, there's a part of Ungren that's just sick of this shit and wants to take an arrow to the knee so he can go sell pots and pans somewhere.
Go explore ruins. Yeah.
The first time you actually take damage, it's like, this adventuring thing is bullshit.
I belong in a museum. Get it? 'Cause
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead, B.
Okay. So I am going to, for action 1, or for item 1, drop into wolf stance.
Good.
And action 2, flurry of blows.
Wah.
That's a 1, so that's going to be a 9.
Oh, that's a critical fail.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
Gosh, I really need to look that up. I was so concerned with how you roll a crit fail, I didn't bother memorizing what happens when you do.
But it's flurry of blows,
Yeah,
so
go
I
ahead
get
and roll
to
the second
add.
one.
Yeah, I get to add them together, I think.
Oh.
Oh, and this one is much better. It is a 27.
Okay. Uh, 27 hits.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and do my damage is a 8. Where'd my 8 go? Yeah. Okay, so he's going to take 7 damage, piercing damage. And I'm also going to stack that as well with Stunning Fist. Which is, let me just make sure. It is
Fist
a
is so
feat. Okay, so he needs to make a Fortitude saving throw.
I'm sorry, can you say again how much damage he took?
He took only 7 damage.
Okay. And a fort save.
And make a fort save against 18.
He has failed that save.
Okay, he
Oh, wait.
is...
He passed the save. Sorry.
Ah. He is stunned 1.
Stunned
Or
one.
no, I'm sorry, you said he
passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He got
Then
a
nothing
21.
happens.
Okay.
All right, then I'm going to take my third move, I guess. And just go for a regular attack. I can't do Flurry of Blows twice. So I'm just going to do a wolf stance attack.
Yeah.
That is going to be 26 minus 5 is 21.
That hits.
Okay. I hope so. And that's better. That's going to be another 8 piercing damage.
Ooh.
And I'm in a low stance, and I'm like,
Nice. So, did I hear that right with your flurry of blows? You missed on your first one, and because of that, you just added it to your second roll?
no, I don't get to roll the damage twice. But
Oh.
when I do flurry of blows, it counts as one attack. So I add the damage. If both blows land, I add the damage together, and it doesn't. So it overcomes any.
Damage reduction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Does Flurry of Blows have something in it
That's a good idea.
that describes what happens on a crit fail?
Let me find out.
Because I've just looked it up, and Strike does not. Strike describes a crit success, but not a crit fail, which I think means there's no such thing as crit failing on a strike.
Yeah, it says make 2 unarmed strikes. If both hit, combine their damage for purpose of resistance or weaknesses.
Interesting.
Apply your multiple attack penalty to the strikes normally.
Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. Yeah, I still would have hit because that was a 27. But yeah.
Okay. Well, we are back to the top of the round with
All right.
Harry Bastard.
That's his name.
His name is
Bill
actually Malarunk, but you guys didn't ask, so.
He threw an axe at me.
Yeah. Well, you blew a hole in his ceiling.
I want to see his lease.
It's
You need
always
to know his name when he's dead.
it's always what is the big bad evil guy doing, not how is the big bad evil guy.
Exactly. What he is doing is casting Fireball.
Oh my god!
What the hell?
I see. He's joining the fire party.
He sure is. You guys started it.
Everything was great till the fire spellcasters attacked.
Yeah.
I might change what my turn's gonna be then. I did not think he was a spellcaster.
Well, guess what? He's a cleric.
Ah,
You see the robes, right?
I do
Is
now.
that what that means?
I do now.
I'm sorry, I meant to say, you see the robes, right, bitch? All right. So, it is a 20-foot area, 20-foot burst,
Lord.
which is a radius. It's just going to hit all of you and the boggards. Everyone make a reflex save.
Cool.
God.
What's the DC on that?
That'll be a 23 for the monk.
Okay, just a moment.
Sure.
How do you do the reflex save? Basic reflex save. And I guess I got to look at him. 23 is the DC.
Yeah.
I got an 18 plus 10 on the reflex. So 28. I'm
Well, I
good.
tied at 23 exactly.
Okay, and Corey? What was yours?
I was seeing if I had some shenanigans I could do, but I don't. Let's 14.
Okay, you have failed.
I rolled a 19 and I've been switching dice.
Okay, I'm going to ban someone from chat. Let's see. How do you do the ban? Ban. All right.
No robots here.
No robots here. We don't
Only
want your
100% humans in our chat.
I'm not a 100% human.
Or at least capable of
Okay,
passing the
rough
Turing
one.
test.
Yes, only.
There it is. Yeah.
Yes, only 100%.
Okay,
humans
so-
is capable of.
Appears at a spot you designate, dealing 6d6 fire damage. Does anyone have a digital dice roller open?
I got it.
Roll me 6d6, please. Because otherwise, I just don't have the space to roll 6d6 here physically.
23.
Oh, boy.
23 damage is how much everyone who failed the save takes.
And myself.
And
And if you pass, do you take half damage or?
You do not take half damage if you pass. You take no damage if you pass.
Woo!
That is how I'm reading the
Wow.
rules.
That's nice.
Yeah, there is
Alright.
nothing in the
That's
spell.
good, 'cause I'd be.
There's nothing in the spell that says you take half damage. The only place it might be is if it was in the description of the reflex save,
Yeah.
but I don't think so.
Glad I passed
that kind
that
of
one.
nerfs Fireball.
It does. You guys just all ducked.
Not me. I ate it.
No, you ate it, but I want you to die.
I do too. I want to go to bed.
All right. Good night. I'll try and get that taken care of on the next round. So that was 2 actions
Well,
to cast.
we are underground, so we can't very easily fade the ceiling.
That was 2 actions to
All these
cast
explode.
Fireball.
Oh, did the grungs? Or sorry, they're not grungs. Did they
Boggards.
pass that reflex save us?
No, they did not. It was 23, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
Woo!
He just
Hell
fried.
yeah.
He just fried his brothers, his cult brothers. He's like, oh, you have been judged. And then he has 1 action left, and he's going to spend it throwing debris at Ungren. I'm gonna use my shiny pink die. That somehow landed cocked.
Wait, leave that body there. I'm going to use it on my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, he has rolled
Dead bards. Okay.
to throw debris. Where did that go? 21 to hit Ungren.
Matches. Oh my god.
Okay. What is the
Still 10 damage.
What does the deadly quality mean, or the deadly trait?
Let's just assume it gives me 1 automatic failed death save for dying.
Okay, well, you take a full 6 damage.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, he rolled max
Yes,
damage.
No, on a
Deadly
critical
is-
hit for deadly, on a critical hit, the weapon
Yeah.
adds a die of the listed
Oh,
size.
it's-
So
Oh, thank you. Actually,
Oh,
it's
it's
not
brutal.
6 damage, it's 8 damage.
Oh my god.
Roll this after doubling the weapon's damage.
Wow. That is deadly.
Increase- Wow. Yeah, it's kind of like a double crit.
It's a
yikes.
It's like brutal crit, just like the barbarian feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? All these like tables and extra die rolls and stuff are really making me want to play Dungeon Crawl Classics again. I'm sure none of you guys saw when we played it on the stream before, but it is it's like a super old school style of RPG, and it's like everything's a table. Like there's different crit hit tables for different classes, and like
Oh man,
it's the don't get attached to your character kind of game, because it's just like
that's funny.
a wrong dice roll and you're just gone. Roll up a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been playing through Kingdom Death Monster with some friends, and that's pretty similar. It's like, I mean, the name's in the title, Kingdom Death. You're
Yeah.
gonna die many times, and you roll like you take a damage, you roll on a table to see how your arm broke, or if you just died.
Ouch.
So the way Dungeon Crawl Classics works is you make 4 or 5 level 0 characters, and everyone sends them into the dungeon. Like each player makes 4 or 5 characters, and you send them into an adventure, and whichever one lives becomes your level 1 PC. With 4 players, and some of them made a couple of them had to make an extra one because they all died. 18 level 0 characters. All of them died in the first 2 sessions.
Wow.
And so
Grinder.
we had it scheduled for 3 sessions, and in session 3 I just had to tell them just roll up a level 1. Nobody lived. It just got to make one up.
Yep.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like a table that has like, you know, like whether or not your shoulder dislocation is anterior or posterior.
Yes.
Like it matters, you know. Like,
Yeah, it does not matter. Anyway, I could talk about
compound fracture or a stress fracture.
Describe the quantity of blood you just lost.
that game for a long time, but we are doing this game right now.
Yeah.
It is Corey's turn.
Indeed. Wanted to roll the ball in his face and then goblin pox him, but I'm 10 feet too short, pun intended, short jokes, to do that. So I think I'm gonna let the fireball fade away, or sorry, the sphere of fire fade away, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna throw some bones on the floor. Right? You use one of the boggart corpses, I guess, doesn't matter. I'm gonna animate some dead here.
Cool. Here's your skeleton. Take one of them boggarts off and put that skeleton where he was.
Oh, Boggart's already gone. There's your skeleton.
All right.
Where's the animate dead?
Sorry.
Oh, my listed creatures I can do.
How many do you get?
I believe it's just one. Ooh, let's do. This sounds fun. I was gonna do crawling hand, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna do a skeleton guard. That sounds fun. Last time I did a floating head. This time we do a skeleton guard.
All right. So the
Nice.
skeleton of the boggart sort of pulls itself out of its meat clothes and yanks itself up to its
Hi.
feet and looks over at you, Monty Buns, and goes,
Yes. Oh, and it gets to act immediately. We found that out last time.
oh,
What's the scientific explanation for how you just raised?
Fungus.
I healed the skeleton very well. I healed the boggart so well
it's not
using healing medicine.
it's not a trick with bone magnets.
No. You know, I almost thought about when I was making this character. I was like, maybe I should be a deceiver and make people think that it's all fake. And I was like, no, I think he's just naive and he actually thinks this.
All right.
Uh,
He gets to act immediately. Does he get a full turn or just an action?
He gets 2 actions.
2 actions.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, just for this turn, and then I think he gets 3 later on. So he's going to, let's see, what's his move? What is your speed? 25 feet. Can you get up to him in 25?
Looks
That's
like no.
5, 10, 15, 20? 25?
25. He actually can if we allow diagonals.
Yeah.
We will allow the diagonals.
Okay. And then he has
11,
okay,
26.
so he has
Don't
a
allow
a scimitar in his hand.
Yeah.
Apparently, he can also use a short bow, but he's going to use his scimitar, and
Which is probably different than the weapon he had in life. Yeah, he had a club.
Probably
He had a club. But inside his club there was a scimitar. The scimitar was the skeleton of the club.
right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, you get it. You understand how science
Yeah.
works.
Science.
Ooh, that is not good. That is a 9 to hit. Not good.
You're correct. It isn't good.
Okay. All right. It's my turn. All 3
Oh.
actions. Animate. Dead.
Okay, well the boggard rots a little bit. And then it is Skuldrick Boomstrike's turn.
How he's been lit on fire a couple times.
Right. Oh, he has... Does he have ongoing damage?
Yeah, he still has the.
So he should have taken someone his turn, right? Was
I don't know if it's on my turn or his turn. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, it's your turn now, so let's say it's on your turn. How much is
so
it?
It'd be three persistent.
Okay. All right. Go on.
How burnt is he?
Not so burnt.
Really?
Mostly his hair is gone. He's definitely been hurt, but he's ready to throw punches.
Okay. Well, if it ain't broke, keep throwing fire at it.
Until it
Jeff.
breaks.
I will do that again.
Cool. Do that again.
That is an 18 plus 8, 26.
That's a hit, sir.
All right. Another 2 die 8. D8 in here. My satchel. There we go. 2 and 3. 5 plus 3, 8 damage.
Okay. What next?
And we'll try the sling again.
I'm sorry. What
I feel
did
like I'm
you
kind
What did you use to hurt him with just now?
of bomb.
Oh yeah,
Moderate.
you blew him up good. All right.
I feel like I'm kind of a one-trick pony, but I kind of went that way with the bomber as far as the alchemist.
It's a good trick though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the alchemist can do a lot more than this stuff. But I kind of focused on the combat aspect of it
Yeah.
rather than like the buffing stuff. All right, sling. 15 plus 8 minus 5, so 18. Probably not gonna hit him.
18 misses.
Okay. With that, I would yield.
Okay. Ungren Darkbeard, your turn.
Okay, I would like to use my moving reload. So actually, that corner, like, in front of me, is there a wall there that I could use to hide behind if I took the take cover action? So the square
Yes,
front to the
you
left.
could.
I could.
You could get around that corner. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna running reload for one action.
Here.
I'm going to shoot, yeah, and then I'm going to shoot as one action, and then I'm going to take cover as another action. And I switched crossbows last turn.
what
which is
we-
why.
Oh, this crossbow only takes 1.
Yeah, because the heavy crossbow is a 2 reload.
Okay,
and
good.
the regular-
That actually makes me more confident in my previous ruling because that's how I thought it worked. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So I should roll for damage or to hit. Yeah. I should roll a crit is what I should do.
Yes.
And I
always.
rolled a 19.
That is a miss, sir.
Yes, and I will use my last action to take cover.
Okay.
And I have how that affects me pulled up, so if it becomes relevant, I will mention it.
All right. B.
Alrighty. I am going to use my... where'd it go? Well, I have, as one of my features at level 3, was my speed. I know it's in there. So I'm gonna... the point is, I get to go 35 feet.
Yeah, you told me that before.
So here's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. All right. And I am still in Wolfjaw stance.
Okay.
I double checked and I remain in it for the encounter, or until I'm knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
And I will make my flurry of blows.
Sweet.
Ooh, that's not good. First one is only 12.
Okay, that doesn't hit.
Second one, oh, not much better. The second one is 18.
That also does not hit.
All right, I'm going to then...
Or like flurry of nose.
Yeah.
Flurry of no.
Yeah, it really is. Okay. I'm going to, I guess, make one more regular punching attack.
This will be a -10.
Yes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a step and basically do the disengage action and step back 5 feet.
No problem.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay, now it's his turn again, and he's going to do a spell. Well, he's going to do a, like, divine smite thing. Channel smite. How do you do this? I got to expend a harm spell to do it. There's so many, like, pages to flip through to figure out how this dang thing works. Spell descriptions.
And that, audience, is why I'm not playing a witch. I didn't want to learn how spells worked.
Same. I usually like playing a spellcaster, but I'm like, I'm just going to punch things.
Good call, everybody. Okay. The damage is 1d8. So what he's going to do a channel smite to call upon his dark god to harm... Who is that next to him? The skeleton?
This is the skeleton.
He's going for the skeleton.
Okay.
And he gets a 19 to hit the skeleton.
Okay.
Does that hit, Monty? Maybe I'll look it up.
AC 16. Yeah.
Okay, that does hit. Hold on.
Skeleton doing the meat shield thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that's
He's
like
there
half
for
of the reason he's there.
So he did channel smite, and that's going to give him an extra 1d8. So the base damage is 2d4 plus 5. He's using his Cinder Claw Gauntlet. That's the name of the cult, by the way. You guys haven't kept anyone alive long enough to ask, but they're called the Cinder Claws.
He threw a hatchet at him right off the bat.
Yeah,
Right.
I was going to tell him everything.
We've got...
Alfred wanted to chat with him.
I was like, I could
Threw a
have
hatchet at his
10
fucking
minutes.
head.
10, and then... So his mace glows with a sort of black light, if you can picture that in your puny human minds. And he gets 2d4 plus 5. So he gets 5 piercing damage plus 6 fire damage plus the... How's the channel smite work? Plus some other kind of damage.
Okay,
Fire.
he's got resistances. I have to figure out how resistance works now.
Okay.
Do you have more than one in type resistance? Okay. Plus whatever is it. Time you take damage, you reduce the amount of damage you take by the listed amount to a minimum of 0. Okay, so he's got. Resistance, piercing 5, so I think that's 0.
Okay.
Fire 5, so I think that's 1.
Yeah.
What was the last one?
I'm still looking it up. I think it depends on the spell that I used to power the smite, which was harm. And so that spell does... I think it's going to be necrotic.
Is that? Yeah, I was
I
gonna
heal him.
say.
It just says negative damage.
I believe he heals from negative damage. A creature with negative healing draws health from negative energy rather than positive energy. If it is damaged by positive damage and is not healed by positive... Oh, it's... Okay. It does not take negative damage, and it is healed by negative effects that heal undead. So I guess it just doesn't take negative damage.
It doesn't take the negative damage.
Yeah.
Well, that was
That
a
would be-
waste
So
of
he-
a spell. All right.
So he's down to 3 out of 4 HP.
Well, it's your turn now, Monty Buns.
Yeah, Monty, but science has overcome. Look how well I have healed him. Oh, he is stronger than before, my little beautiful boy.
Oh, God. He hates you so much.
You're doing great work, Monty.
Somewhere in his little skeleton soul, he just feels hatred for you.
Dang it, I'm still too far away to do
I'm sorry. I meant to say frog skeleton soul.
frog skeleton soul. I'm gonna do another new spell, and I'm going to cast Touch of Idiocy at Big Hairy Haroldman over there.
What kind of thing is that? A will save?
So it's a will save, yes. I dull the target's mind. Send a will save.
What's the DC?
20.
Oh, he has failed. He has rolled a 16.
He gets stupefied 2.
Ooh.
So he takes penalties on stuff, and also it's something about casting a spell.
-2.
So he just kind of stands there drooling a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. And if he tries to cast a spell, I think he gets a. Anytime you attempt to cast a spell while stupefied, the spell is disrupted unless you succeed at a flat check with a DC equal to 5 plus your stupefied value. So, so he's just got to roll a d20 and get a 7 or better. Yeah. So it's not crazy, but hey, screw him.
Yeah.
Stupid. And then with my third action, I'll sustain the skeleton so he can keep attacking.
Okay, Scaldrix, you're up.
Which
Okay.
skeleton gets to
I'm
attack?
sorry.
Oh, the skeleton goes right after you, yeah? Sorry. You're not up,
I think so,
Scaldrix.
yeah.
Go back
I
to
tried to
sleep.
figure that out. I think it's right after me. I couldn't.
Yeah, whatever. We'll
Yep.
just do it that way. That's how I always do it in D&D.
Yeah, that's what I always.
It's not the rule there either, but yeah.
First attack, scimitar. 12. Okay. Another scimitar. Ooh, 18.
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
All right, now Scaldrix. No, he's got 3. Why does he get 3? He's dumb.
No, he missed again.
Okay, now
Yeah, he just
Scaldrix. I just
Alright,
really want to see something blow up.
Blow him up. Blow him up. But maybe
Alright.
not the splash
I was gonna
damage.
try, like,
'cause
different
I'm
elemental
standing
thing.
There.
Okay?
Let's see. Can I control that? No, I can't. I am not precise. Yeah, I'm throwing a bomb at him.
Oh boy!
Oh my god! A bomb?
Yes.
It's like 3 damage. You'll be fine.
Those don't exist in D&D. Oh, this isn't D&D.
Actually, Alchemist
okay.
Fire very much does exist in D&D.
No, I know.
What?
That's a big old whip. That's a 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to take the 3 damage from the splash.
What am I going to take? Also 3 damage?
No, you took your step. You're too far away.
Ah, there you go. Smart.
Yeah, you step back.
The skeleton does take 3 damage, which means no more
He's got
skeleton.
the- is this-
Damage what? What type?
Splash damage, fire.
Oh, is its own thing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's fire damage.
Oh, so he has resistance
Fire
5.
slash.
Oh.
Resistant to fire?
Oh, he does. Yeah, he has fire resistance.
Yeah. Fire, piercing, slashing, electricity.
He's
That's
fine. The
Skeleton.
skeleton.
Dumb that skeletons have fire resistance. I thought
It makes
skeletons,
sense
like,
to me.
super-
Bones don't burn.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, but not unless you're at intense heat.
I don't know. In Final Fantasy, you kill them in like one hit when you cast flame on them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I
I do
just.
think that's a cool throwback actually. With the skeletons are resistant to piercing damage.
Okay, I'm basing
that
this. I'm basing this actually on a really obscure science video I saw 25 years ago when I was a little kid. That
I'm
a
25.
a critical point of the video was that. Shut up, Cody. Was that bones don't burn unless you have like laboratory level amounts of heat. So yeah, it makes sense to me.
I'm gonna use my last moderate bomb, and I'll throw it with a -5.
Okay.
That's 18. So with a -5 but a +9, it's a 22.
Well, yeah, you. Even if you weren't stupefied, that would do it.
Yeah. Stupid.
Alright.
Stupid big hairy guy.
Alright. D8. D8. Ooh, 6, 15 damage.
My friend, you have blown up the cult leader.
My little goblin.
Yes.
Oh,
There are baboon man guts all over everyone, especially Monty's frog skeleton friend, child person.
And me.
Yes. As he smolders, you hear a voice calling from the next room. Hello? Is there anybody out there? Hello?
Oh, is that Helga? Or what?
No, it's not Helba. Helba was up on the roof.
Hello.
Do we go?
Yeah, go ahead
Yes,
and
let's
point the
go.
camera over to the next room.
cock my crossbow.
You find in here a person not represented by any miniature who is a half-elf woman who looks like she's pretty well dressed, and she just seems from her mannerism like the type of person who would normally be pretty snooty and uptight, but currently is tied up and beaten.
No.
God.
Yeah, she's hello. Let me out. I am Vox. I am from Breach Hill. You must let me out, please.
Did Breach Hill lose somebody? I didn't. What do you do in Breach Hill?
I'm the bookseller.
Oh.
So your apprentice sold you out. We shot him. We're gonna get you back in town.
Oh,
And I'm almost dead.
you're almost dead?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
I
take
know.
a healing potion. I don't know that we're done
Here.
yet here.
Did Mr. Skelly come with you,
Oh, I assume.
Monty?
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay, why not? He's my son for the next however long this lasts.
I would. Everyone roll perception.
1 minute, up to 1 minute.
Perception. 14.
26. No, 27.
Oh, I'd already put all my dice away.
I have 26.
Okay, what you got, Ungren? 29.
29.
Okay. Everyone except Scaldrix can easily see that this woman Vox is overtly fascinated with the skeleton and looks at him with almost like a form of lust in her eyes.
Oh, yes, let me introduce you to Mr. Skelly. This is Mr. Skelly. And Mr. Skelly, oh, well, and there he goes back into the earth.
Ah,
It's the only last
I
one for like a
see.
minute.
So you guys have cut her loose by now, I take it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
All right. So she tells you a wild story about these cultists coming out of a portal that appeared between two of these tall pillars with the symbols carved on them, and takes you back to town. We don't really have time to play out anything else, but I'll give you guys the scoop since we're done with this one. What you will find out as the story progresses, you take her back to town and the guards investigate and the people talk. Calmont, the halfling bookseller's apprentice, did in fact betray his boss, but only because he was trying to steal her secrets. You see, Vox had come here to study some ancient necromantic writings that were kept in the Hellknight Citadel. She herself is a necromancer. And
A necromancer.
a necromancer. And she accidentally opened up one of these portals, which the other end of which is far to the south in another country. And some evil cultists came through and tried to take over this whole place. But their own spells backfired and caused the collapse. So all of this is extra stuff that would have come out had we played a little longer, but we're out of time. You guys did, in fact, kill everyone who needed to die except for Vox. And
gold.
At the moment, she is non-hostile. So good job. You guys get your gold. Calamont's dead. The keep is... the keep is yours. You own the place now. I don't know why it says that in the
We just
adventure.
evict the goblins.
Yeah, like the adventure's like, oh, if you look around this room, you find the deed, and then the keep is your base of operations for the rest of the story.
That's really cool.
Like all the following
That is pretty
adventures,
cool.
And it's like, well, all right, I guess the goblins don't live anywhere, but
I guess the idea is that you're their
So
landlord
you mix
now.
the goblins, you get a free bear and a dead lizard.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
then-
actually a little sad no one tried to like win the bear over, because you definitely could have had a bear on your team.
I wanted to. I feel like Monty wasn't set up game mechanically, and I was like, well, I don't want to necessarily waste time on this.
Yeah, this
tried.
adventure is full of little things like, yeah, and if you're just nice to the bear, he's on your team now.
Well,
Just like,
I did
Not
feed
that type
him.
of
you
ranger.
fed him, which kept him from attacking you, but you
Yes.
didn't make any attempt to try and like get him on your side.
I did try command animal. I failed.
Well,
There you go.
And-
nonetheless, you guys, you're level 5 now.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, so we had some experience with Pathfinder. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if we had more time with it, we would grow to appreciate it as much as we do 5e. The book is beautiful.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the
And
art in the
giant.
5th edition books, but there's no like one 5th edition book that is as nice to hold in your hands as this book. It's just cool. It's just a cool book. My opinions are my own. But thank you guys for playing. Thank you everyone for watching. And we'll see everyone next week for Night... What is it? Night something.
Night flyers?
Night Witches?
I don't know. I'm not on it.
No, Jason's running it, and nobody's on it but me. It's about fighter pilots.
It's the Russian female fighter pilots,
like the
right?
Russian chicks in World War One.
Yeah, them.
Yeah, it probably is Night
That's
Witches.
fucking
then.
dope.
You
Yeah.
want
Sounds cool.
you want in on it?
Sounds
We
like you got
definitely
two more
100% need players. We have no players
Yeah.
signed up.
The
Are
Night
you
Witches
doing
are this,
anything
like,
next
Russian
Monday?
fighter
Maybe
squadron in
you'd
World
like
War
to
One.
play.
Yeah, I know about them in real life
Yeah.
a little bit. But there is a game based on them. And yeah, it is Night Witches. Yeah, and it's next week, so let's do it. We'll see you guys then. Jason's running it. I'm playing it. Maybe Jeff. Maybe someone else. Hopefully someone else. We'll see. All right. Adios.
Good night.
Goodbye
Bye.
forever.
Bye.